we are catching up about it. And today I will be speaking on what I talked about earlier. I think the topic is just very explicit to what we'll be talking about, which is not just a tester, but a software test engineer. And kudos to everyone that joined on time. I'm a fan of every punctual person. Punctuality is key, right? So if you're a quality assurance person, in fact, I'll say if you're a professional person, you will know that being on time is very important beyond just delivering tasks. I don't have slide, in the absence of my slide, what you should do, and sorry about my voice, but I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Yes, I believe so. But in the absence of my slide, your notes will be my slide because at the end of the session, you will then be required to, share what you learned from my session and tag me. Let me even know if I made any sense at all, or if there was anything that was useful, or if there's anything that stood out for you. There's so much to be shared about this topic. And before I dive into it, I know if you're on this community platform, you're already aware that um, I'm part of the community managers already, and Adobe is the associate community manager. Brown is the lead community manager, and I'm just here to be the runaround for everybody in the team. But I just want to talk briefly about the Testers Quarter community in case you are joining from a link that I share directly from LinkedIn or any other platform and you're not really in the community. I want to say that Testers Quarter is the community you want to be. Basically, what we do there is software testing community in short and in summary, right? I don't know anything about software testing. I'm tech enthusiast. I want to start my career in software testing. Please join in. I've already started practicing software testing, but I need to upskill myself and also grow in my career, either as a professional. This is also where you want to be. You're at expert level, you either want to learn more or you want to give back. This is also where you want to be. And I dare to say that this is still the largest software testing community you'll find in Africa today. I think as of today, if I'm not mistaken, we are close to 1,000 community members. And that is just because we started in June. So we are barely 2 months old. So there is still much more. And you can imagine how large the community will be in 6 months' time, in 1 year time. So this is the time for you to soak in as much knowledge as possible, discuss as much possible because you get to have a lesser circle and quicker response, right now compared to when you're like 10,000 community members. So take the advantage of the small circle, so to speak. We have different communities, which I believe that, for every time you join the community, we have already welcome you with details of each community that we have. So that should not be strange to you. So, and every weekend, we have either a workshop. I know we have done mobile automation, we have done um, I don't know, but I can't remember how many workshops we have done now, but we have done different hands-on workshops. So you definitely don't want to miss it as well. But every Saturday, 9 a.m. is our go-to. And please, most importantly, to wrap up this intro, is that stay through to the end because I especially have some announcements to make. I'm aware that we all know that we have the software testing international day coming up on September 9. So there's so much that we have planned down for someone that don't know anything about tech or someone that is already practicing software tester or you have been an expert for the last 10 years. This is an announcement you definitely want to be part of and not miss. All right, so let's go straight to this session. Like I said, get your pen and notepad because I'm going to be dropping as much as possible. I have my idiot card here. It's called an idiot card because I just wrote down few of the things I'll be talking about, headlines, just jotted them down here. All right. So yes, let's talk about not just a tester, but a software test engineer. I'm very sure this is not the first time you have thought about yourself not being a software test engineer. If I'm not being a software engineer, you generally must have said, I'm a software tester, but the software engineers in my company did XYZ. Using that word alone makes you feel excluded out of the whole industry. So there is this mentality that a lot of testers that I've talked to have, that the software engineers are ascribed to developers, why they are the software testers, why they are the testers, why they are the manual testers, why they are the automation testers. Forgetting that when it comes to software engineering as a whole, software engineering has to do with not just a development, but engineering everything that makes up the product, engineering of the product, right? And that is when we talk about software engineering, software development life cycle. We're not talking about just coding or programming. We're not talking about just scripts development. We said there is an entire software development life cycle. And if you look at the whole software development life cycle, you can see that there is a role of a PM, this is the product manager, there is a role of a developer, there is a role of a tester, there is a role of a DevOps and release engineer. So it's not just developer like the coders are ascribed as software engineer. That's one thing I want you to take note from today's session, that software engineering comprises of both the development and the testing and the releasing of product that is being developed. That is the first thing that should be in your notes. Software engineering, if you look at even the raw definition and it from Google, it says is the systematic design, development, testing, and maintenance of a software system that ensures that, then it puts all those addition to ensure reliability, efficiency, and meet the user's requirement. So it's not just development, it's not just developer, it's not just programmer, it's not just coder. It has to do with everyone that is involved and everything that you need to do to bring up the software. Please, did somebody jot down that first point? I need to be sure that you get that first key note. Anybody? Did you jot that down? Did you get what I said about software engineering?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Why do I
Yes,
feel
yes.
it's one person that is on the session with you? Please just use the thumbs up, use the emoji icon so that I can know that you are getting me, or use the chat section to all right. Very good. Thank you so much for that. Because I need this to be very much interactive as possible. And the only way you interact is by responding and acknowledging what I said. Thank you. So that's first needs to be cleared. Still talking about software engineering before I talk about a tester being a software engineer. I've talked about the definition. I've told you about what SDLC entails. And third thing to mention here is that software engineering includes process and methodologies. So anything in tech, anything in engineering that requires process and methodologies, it is actually an engineering skill. Let me come again. If it requires process and methodologies, it is engineering. Does testing include process and methodologies? Any response? Any response? Any response?
Yes, 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 yes,
Yes,
it
it
does.
does.
Thank you.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
yes.
So yes. So definitely it's again another thing to let you know that it includes process and methodology. It is an engineering. You can see that it's drifting you. I want to bring your mind to the point to see software testing as an engineering so that you can take your mind away from I'm just a manual tester. You can begin to see that your career is not just I'm a manual tester. Even though you are executing manually, does not mean that is all you do. We get to that. Now, when you talk about software engineering, there is requirement gathering. And I'm not even talking about requirement gathering for a product manager. I'm talking about as a developer, as a tester, there is a requirement phase for you to carry out whatever you do. When you are testing, do you gather information? Do you gather requirement that is needed to do that test? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm seeing just Michael and Funke consistently. Thank you. Maybe these are people I will give gift at the end of my session. All right. There is also what we call design principle. When it comes to software engineering, we have something we call design principle, meaning that there is modularity, there is encapsulation, there is coupling. Now, let me explain just one of these concepts to you when you talk about modularity, encapsulation, and many more of those things. What does modularity means? It means that is a fundamental, I would say it's a fundamental concept of software engineering that promotes you divide your software systems into separate or self-contained or interchangeable modules. When you are testing, can you test a feature alone? Also, can you test, let me give an example. Can you test a login feature alone? And then can you test a login feature to the home page together? Can you also test the login, or can you also test the software from login to the entire software to log out? Can you do something like that when you are doing software testing?
Yes.
That means the concept of modularity is applicable to software testing, which is a concept of software engineering. You need modularity, reusability. Having to written test cases that you can reuse before? Do you maintain your test case? Can you upgrade on your test case? These are the characteristics of modularity. And if you are doing any of this in your software testing, it definitely means what you're doing is an engineering flow. Coding standard and practices. I read a lot of the conception a lot on bloggers or blog post writers that explains software testing as no code. So I'm asking on this channel now, on this call, do we write code in testing?
Yes, we do.
Thank you. So if you
Yes.
of course. Now, for anyone that is not into testing right now, that might be on this call, the difference is that for you to start your career in testing, you do not need to write code, right? You can always start your career. You can earn money being not writing code at all. However, there is a level to it where you'll be required to write code. So whenever you see software testing under no code career tech skill, is an absolutely wrong information. In fact, particularly when I see it, I know that whatever the person is writing, the person does not know anything about tech, or the person does not know anything about software engineering. Is the reason why the person class testing as under no code. There are two fields that I know as of today that you can that are similar like that. One is software testing, another one is security, cyber security. Both of them, they are fields, they have parts of them that you can work without writing code, right? And they also have level to it where you can write code in them. So if you write code again, which is something we talked about under software engineering, right? Do you write code? And of course you do. And in your coding, you follow the coding standard and the best practices. So yes, you are doing engineering. And even when you write tests, even you yourself, you do check your test to be sure that, okay, have I done integration testing? Have I done system testing? Have I carried out the user acceptance testing? What kind of test am I even doing? Is it test driven? Is it behavioral test? Am I doing just manual test? I'm doing automation. That means you also carry out testing on your own work. And that is where testing also comes in under software engineering. We talk about software architecture. All of these things I'm trying to say, they are what makes up an engineering. And if you do all of these things under your engineering, under whatever career that you're doing, then what you're doing is called software engineering, not just a slick name that people call it to be. We have architecture, we have version control. I believe that people that write test case here knows that after they have finished developing a product, they write test case, and then the company go ahead to develop more things on that particular product. They have to version their test case and create a version 2 of that test case. That is version collaboration, even though, yes, we still do it in automation field and then we use GitHub and stuff like that. But we also do it even in our manual works because there's always an upgrade to what we do. Now, there is the development of activities. Either you're writing code, or you're creating your test case. All of this requires development of them. You also create reporting. Are there emerging technologies and trends on that particular career? Yes, there is. Is there a maintenance and evolution through your bug identification and retesting? Yes, there is. Are there professional development in that field in engineering? Yes, there is. All of this is applicable. All of this is actually the definition of software engineering. All of the things I just mentioned now, randomly, like I mentioned, I explained software engineering to you. I told you about the SDLC. I told you about the process and methodologies. I talked about requirement gathering. I told you about design principle when we talk about modularity. I talk about coding standard practices and best practices. I talk about testing and different type of testing. I talk about version control, release of requirement, release of test report and stuff like that, maintenance, emerging technology, professional development. Are these things applicable to your career? Because these things here are what makes up software engineering. Is tester and not software engineering. So what you are doing is software engineering. The first thing I want us to take, like I've mentioned elaborately, is that one, this what you are doing is software engineering. You are not different from a developer or a coder or a programmer or you are not different from them. You both are a software engineer. The differences is somebody is programming, somebody is developing, somebody is testing, somebody is writing a code to develop, somebody is writing a code to test. You are both software engineers because you go through the same process to deliver your tasks. So you are not different. You are the same thing. I hope that makes sense. Now, there is the second thing I want to talk about is that there is an evolving roles of software tester. Software testing has evolved over the years. Before, if you just know how to write test case and bug reports, in fact, well, that one is even far. If you just know how to carry your phone like this and check the app, like most of your PM does, and check the app, and then they do that, okay, you can do testing. That is tester. Call yourself a tester. I can do testing, which is typically what most of them do today, and call it software testing. That is not software testing. That used to be software testing, but software testing has evolved. It has then evolved to, okay, you should be able to write test case, test plan, test documentations generally. It has also evolved to, it's evolved from in fact, that one is even API testing. It's evolved to being a critical negative test. Because when you write your test case, 2% is probably your API test, 98% is more of a negative scenario. So you definitely have that involvement, and then to the documentation, and then to the reporting. And then we move to the automation world. Now, in the automation world, if you can do anything with no code tools, like you can use any of those no code to generate code script like Selenium IDE. A lot of you remember Selenium IDE or Catalan Studio. I mean, means you're an automation engineer, so to speak. But we have moved away from that. Companies, industry wants you to know how to use proper programming language to actually write automation script. Now, you cannot pass through some international offers if you do not know how to write scripts. You can be a chief and the bestest automation engineer in your country until you choose to go outside of your country. And that is when you know that you are competing globally, because no code tools for automation is not the best of them for most companies because of maintainability, basically. Now, we move from no code tools to programming language. Now, if you even know how to do public static, open your bracket, do hello world, you say, I can write a line of code. Now I'm a programmer, I'm a test automation engineer. It now goes to you being able to develop a full-blown architecture. You need to be able to develop a full-blown framework of a test automation, either for your web, either for your mobile, either for API. You need to be able to develop a full-blown architecture. Frenchola, you kindly mute yourself. Thank you. So you need to be able to develop a full-blown architecture or framework. In fact, you should be able to develop an architecture before you can develop a whole framework, before you now start writing scripts. And your scripts are not just test dot open and then close and then check if this name is equal to this name. No, you need to be able to write interactive object-oriented automation script. You need to be able to write scripts that are reusable, scripts that are LD, not the one that you have written it once and the first time you wrote it is the last time you went to it. You need to be able to write scripts that are very, very much reusable and detail-oriented. Now, maintenance. We move to reporting. This goes that before you can even do a whole full-blown architecture, you need to know at least one programming language. We have even evolved from one programming language to be able to write 2, 3 programming languages. Multiple programming language. In fact, you should be able to write any programming language as long as you are a tester. You can see the evolution of testing career. So if you are still in the world of, I'm a manual tester, I can do, of course, I'm not saying that, in fact, let me put it in context. I'll come back to, let me digress a little. Manual testing, like a lot of people do it today, means that they're doing manual test execution. But manual test execution is not all to it when it comes to manual testing. There is troubleshooting. There is providing possible solutions to your developer, right? It's not just, oh, I know how to do manual test execution or checking. That is not what test automation, manual testing means. There is more complexity to it. How about your API? Can you do API manual testing and do it effectively? How about your SQL database management? Can you do that? Because these are also part of manual testing. You're not writing automation script to do your database. You don't have to do automation before you go into your API. You can do them manually before you not check them. Because when people say manual testing, one thing that comes to mind is just to check the app manually. That is manual test execution, not manual testing. There is more to manual testing than just manually test execution. All right. So you can see the evolution. Now to come back, you have gone from manual testing to automation world. Imagine 2 people now comes to the field and say they are bidding for the same role. Someone who is let's even say you are a complete manual tester, and somebody who is a full-blown, because before you can be a full-blown automation tester, you would have been good enough. I believe if you are here and you say you do manual testing or automation testing, you are very, very good with manual testing. And I'm not saying manual test execution. I'm saying detailed manual testing, including all the troubleshooting, including all the reporting, including the communication that comes with it, including the project management that comes with it, including everything. Imagine a manual tester coming to the table with a test automation engineer coming to the table bidding for the same role. Without biases and sentiment, who would you give the offer to as an hiring manager? I need response. Type, say something.
The automation tester.
The automation engineer.
It's as simple as that. It's not because your HR is bad. It's not because the company is being biased. It's just because everybody wants the best for the price that they can give. And I'm always saying is that, which I will talk to at the end of this session, saying that there is no job for you as a manual tester or as a software test engineer. It's just because you have not cracked enough. There is a job everywhere. Like, I definitely have somebody in our community right now still bidding for the role of a software test engineer in Nigeria, for a pay as high as 9 million naira per month. The person is in our community, So when you guys say there's no job for you in Nigeria, I believe you have not cracked enough yet. Anyways, we talk about cracking enough later. So you can see the evolution. Then everybody can come into testing, do one or two, click, and then you get a testing job, and then you say you're a software tester, and then you can be in that field for 5 years, and all you're doing is manual test execution, until you choose to leave that company and go to another company to go and interview before you realize that your skill is ancient. So yes, the role has evolved. Because the evolution of role of software tester is massive, you also need to know that it is now going beyond, I'm a tester. In fact, a tester does not want to be ascribed as a tester anymore. They want to be ascribed as a test engineer. Yes, that's how a tester wants to be described now, as a test engineer, not just a tester. Now, 2, you need to understand software development generally. There is an importance of the understanding software development process, including understand coding, right? What does coding means? I don't know why testers feel coding is hard, but maybe it's the misconception we have seen while growing up, or in movies, or the developers have made you to feel like it's hard. Because I can tell you for a fact, like I'm always studying those in the automation school, if it is that hard, how then a 10-year-old guy or a 10-year-old boy could be able to be doing software development at Twitter as an engineer? How? If it's really, really that hard. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that, because it is not. It is until when you start practicing and you start doing, you then realize that, okay, wait, is this the thing called software? Like, this is the coding thing. Why is it looking like just maths? If you know how to do 1+1, I know how to think. Why is it not easy to do? It is hard because of the misconception you have had growing up. It's hard because of the way the industry and people, developers, and many other people have made it to feel like it is hard, because it is not. Yes, it requires a more different personality to be able to do it, but it is not hard when it comes to skill set, because every skill is hard. For a software developer to come and be testing their code, in fact, writing ordinary unit tests, it is hard for them as well. Telling a software developer, a coder, or a programmer to come and be doing system tests, component tests, integration testing is a lot of work for them, in addition to what they do. So telling them to come and do it separately alone is like you trying to, they don't want to do it. So to them, your own career, your own work too is also hard for them. So it's not just you who feels like coding is hard. You see coding is hard because you think coding is hard. In research, coding is not hard. Coding is, you need to understand coding, because how do you then effectively test if you don't understand what is being written in the code, right? You need to understand design. A lot of times when I hear tester, I say, okay, where is the design to your work? When you check, okay, there is a disparity between what the front-end person is designing and what you see in the Figma file or the Adobe XD file. Then when we now go to the Adobe XD, even what we have in the Figma design is not so pleasant, right? It's not so actually the best design that you should have. Why didn't you check this design? You say, you know, to check design. No? Who told you don't check design? Who told you as a tester you don't check design? You definitely check design. You definitely have to get through the design. You definitely have to see it and be sure that, okay, this design is actually doing justice to what is meant to be done in the product. So that means you even need to understand the product that you're building before you start even going to testing. You don't understand the product's requirement, the PRD. You don't understand the business requirement. You don't understand what the developer is doing. You don't understand, then you want to start testing. What are you testing for? Just positive and negative scenario? How do you even know negative scenario if you have not fully understand the product? So yes, you need to understand the development of the product. That is something you need to understand. What is the architecture principle around what you are working on? Have you ever asked your team at the architectural principle around it? Or let's just not use architectural principle. That could be more depth. I mean, just the architecture of what the product you are working on. Do you have it? Do you understand the architecture? Do you know what microservice is calling what microservice? And do you know why this microservice is calling the other microservices? When you're testing on API, what is the understanding of the architecture you have that hates what you're testing? When do you go to the database? Some testers, I'm going to check a lot of tables today. Every time I talk to testers, I'm always checking table. I'm sorry about that, but we just have to talk these things here. Now, you are testing a product. You are testing API, but you don't have access to the database. How are you testing? What are you testing for? How do you even know that what you are calling and you are receiving is actually being stored in the database? Some people don't even have the database login in their company. And then there is a mock database, there is a test database, but you don't have access to it. All I'm just doing is, and I understand because I have also once been there when I joined a company and I needed the database. You know, after I was trying to get the files that I needed to use to test, and I was trying to ask for, you know, the database, and then I don't even know what to call the person, probably is a team lead or engineering manager, was not telling me that, no, the testers don't have access to the database. I said, I don't understand. The database, is it production? They say, no, it's for test environment. So how come testers don't have access to the database that is a test environment? I had to ask for it. It is a test environment database, not a production database. If your developer have access to it, your tester has access to it. So you ask until you are given. You don't say that the company does not do it. See, there is something called resistance and curiosity for a tester. You ask until you are given. If the person does not understand why you are asking, help them to understand why you are asking. You need to understand that if a developer has access to it, I mean, it's not production. It's test database. It's mock database. It's not production. Give me access to the test database. I need to see the service I'm calling to be sure that this thing is even saved in the database. I need to understand how these tables, how am I even sure that the table that's supposed to be accepting just string is not accepting integers? How am I sure that this thing is not accepting just characters when it's meant to be accepting strings. You need to even check the database. You need to, now, if you're not having access to your database, I put it to you that just a tester. You're not a test engineer. You should ask until you're given. If the person does not understand, ask. Exactly. Thank you, Tomiwa. How do you understand that the response is not static? How are you sure that how are you even sure that that response? Because I remember when one of my testers was working in my team one time, and then she sent the response, okay, so this person has been created. So altogether, how many users do we have in the database? And then she went to use the get request to check the number. I said, okay, 16. Okay, can you check the database to confirm that it's 16 that is there? And he said, database. That doesn't know anything about the database. So, what? How are you sure that information here is not just gaga? So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, that there is more to it than just writing, than just testing, like just check, so to speak, right? Because we need to talk about testing versus checking, because people actually mislead checking for testing. So there is architecture, there is principle around it. There is a way the service go round. If we look at the PRD, how are you really sure that the designer actually designed everything and covers every scenario that is meant to be covered in the design? How are you sure that this flow from the user's perspective is covered in the design? There's a time I was using a product, as they have developed it. I came into the team to test the product, and I was using it, and I don't know the next thing to do on the screen. Like I was stranded. I literally don't know the next thing to click, in all honesty. And I had to ask the developer, so what should I do here? He does not even know. I had to go and find who the design, in fact, the PM, when I the one telling me that, okay, that I should slide up, meaning that, when you want to open multiple tabs on your phone like this, so they asked me to slide up and then to quit the app just to log out. I don't understand. They said because they don't think that people used to use the logout button. I use the logout button. So these things you need to, so you can see that it's beyond just checking. There is an end-to-end flow about it. You need to understand software development lifecycle of that product that you're working on. And then let's talk about the test automation. I've talked about automation. I'm always saying this, and I said, it's best you have that skill and it's not needed than you don't have the skill when it is needed. It's best you have a skill. I'm not a fan of you going to learn a lot of junks that you don't need, right? But I'm also letting you to know that it's best to have a skill in your field. Because, for example, if I'm a software tester and then I go ahead to go and start learning how to do, how to have Tenno, or when I'm not doing choir practice in the church, I have no business learning that voice. So even if I learn that skill, of course it will be good, it will be nice, but I will not make any benefit financially out of it. So it is of no use. So all of those kind of skills, what I'm trying to say in next sense is that those skills, if you don't need them, if you don't want them, you might not need them. But skills that is relevant to your field, please have them. It's best to have them that and not use it than to not have them when it is needed. Imagine you go for an interview and you don't think you ever need to use JavaScript to write anything, but you already have the test, you already have the knowledge, you already know how to do it. You go for an interview as a manual tester, and just while in the midst of a conversation, your interviewer, your engineering interviewer just asks a question or you just said something, and then you're able to use the concept, you're able to use the concept of that JavaScript to explain something to the engineer. It gives you additional bonus points and make you exceptional. So it is best to have the skill than not have it at all. It gives an advantage. You travel to another country, you want to go and work in better, companies like Microsoft, Google, and stuff like that. They will need this skill from you. So even if you have the skill and you go and work at Isaleco Limited, where the skill is not needed, it gives you an advantage because it helps you to test the product better. It gives you a better understanding of the product compared to when you are doing it when you have just manual testing skill. So there is a whole lot of significant benefit of having a test automation skill when it comes to this modern day software testing industry. You need to learn how to write script. And now another thing I'm going to talk about briefly is that automation is one of the errors I find a lot of testers do these days is that you want to learn automation, you are a manual tester, you want to learn automation. The first thing people do, the go-to thing they do is that one, You either go and take Udemy course where you see end-to-end test automation in 35 hours or in 24 hours, and then you start learning, you start learning, you start learning. But guess what? At the end of the day, you cannot go for an automation interview and pass. In fact, if you see a software test automation engineering role, me and you know that that link will not be clicked by 80% of software testers. A lot of people click manual testing or software tester or quality assurance engineer or software test quality engineer, a lot of titles that they used to give to us now. You will likely click on those skills, those fields, those link and apply. Then when you see a title say test automation engineer, a lot of people will not click on that link. You will not click on it because the fear of automation has clouded your mind. But you are not a software test engineer if you don't have all the skills required. I said this, I gave an analogy of it one day on my LinkedIn. I said, see, there is nothing like manual testing, automation testing. I am a software test engineer, and everything that has to do with my field, I should know it. That's what it means. You are not here to run a side hustle of testing. No, you are a software test engineer. Everything that has to do, Adobe, you might need to give us another link because we are limited to 1 hour with this link. So please share another link on the group and share it on this chat so that everybody can have it now. And if I go and click on it down, or probably we just join it right away. All right. So I hope Adobe get that. Thank you. Now, as I was saying, I'm a software test engineer. Everything that has to do with software testing, I want to know it. It makes me all-round tester. It makes me to be a good tester. It makes me to be a high in demand and sought after tester. You don't become high sought after by just doing manual testing. I put it to you straight and direct. And just like Christopher said, automation does not make you a tester or does not make you the best of tester. It just makes you a complete software. Like it shows that you are running a career, not just looking for a job. The difference between someone that is looking for a job and someone that is looking for a career is the difference in skill set. Please, somebody should write that down. The difference between a job seeker and a career builder is the difference in their skill set. I say it again for you to understand. The difference between a job seeker and a career builder is this difference in their career, in their skill set. Sorry. So if you're a manual tester, what you want to know is how to write a software testing, how to write a test case, how to write a bug report, how to write, if we even look at the nitty-gritty of what you say is a bug test case, your bug test case and your bug report, some of us will sneeze because we don't understand what you're writing, how much more a developer. Now, compared to when you have all the skills required, in fact, even you will be confident in yourself to go and apply for any job you see. Like there is this confidence that I should get this job. You'll be confident to apply and ask for any amount. And I'm always saying, like my favorite quote still remains, with the skill comes the millions. With the mastery comes the million. With the mastery comes the million. Mastery means that for you as a software tester, you know how to do both manual and automation testing. You know how to do reporting. You know how to do a lot of things. You know how to do database. You are there. You know how to do it. Right now, a lot of us cannot even, you are not even phantom doing AI testing. Like you cannot even phantom, it's not even in your career roadmap for this year. Like you don't know that there's something called AI testing. Like AI is trendy. You don't know that there's a testing part of it. In fact, some people are even using ChatGPT to create it. Anyways, it's possible. Let's not go into that one. Anyways, like I was saying, there is a whole field called AI testing. You are still doing software testing. Don't forget that there is a whole field called hardware testing. There is a whole field called AI testing. There is a whole field called data. People are even focused on ETL, data testing. There's a whole, so there's so much more, but you are still even finding it hard to go past automation testing. You are looking it very hard. You go to Udemy, you go to Udacity, you go to all of that to go and learn all this automation. But at the core of it, at the end of the day, my question remains: does that give you what you want? Now, come back to how software tester learns. Software tester wants to learn automation. A manual tester, for example, they want to learn automation. The first mistake they do is that they're going to pick up a crash course, or they go and pick up a programming language. They'll start learning Java. They will learn Java, they will learn Java, they will learn Java, they will learn Java, they will learn. It's just like a developer that wants to start learning development, how to write code. pick up a programming language. You don't know that even in programming development, even if you want to be a software developer, your first skill is not even to go and learn programming language. The same thing mistake that software testers do. They go and learn programming language, or they go and learn how to do. Ask somebody now that is learning test automation. As they will tell you that I'm learning Selenium, or I'm learning Python. These are responses I get. I'm learning Python. I'm studying Java. I'm learning how to write JavaScript. They are taking a course on Udemy, or I'm on Udemy. I'm taking a 35 hours course. Go and check in history. There have been people that have gone through the same approach. Hear in, hear out. Year in, year out. Go and check how many one of them are working and deploying test automation today. Thank you. So Adobe has dropped a link in the chat section, guys. Let's click on it and, be on that link. You can just be at the door of that link there, or copy the link down somewhere. So once this shuts down, I think this should shut down in 11 minutes. So in the next 8 minutes, we'll go to the next link. So like I was saying, you go and learn from all of this platform. But the issue is, when you want to learn, go and check the fact. When you want to build a career, the first thing is, a lot of people, you want to learn it ASAP, right? I'm not saying ASAP like those that want to learn software testing in 1 day or in 30 days, or those that want to learn automation in 1 week. No. ASAP in terms of course, in 3 months, in 6 months, in max 1 year, you want to have become a full-fledged test automation. But that is not the plan. There is a roadmap. There is a flow that you need to go through it. You don't just go and pick up programming language and start learning. No, there is a whole flow. I've talked about that intensively in one of my master class before. And I'm not saying, see, first of all, you need to even understand what is test automation. A lot of people feel that they know what test automation is, but they don't know. A lot of people, I can tell you, this year alone, having interviewed over 75 testers, I can tell you confidently that a lot of software testers still do not understand what test automation means. I have interviewed confidently. No, Victor, don't share the link for us. Adobe, it's you that should keep sharing the link, please, so we don't get it mixed up. Just Adobe will keep sharing the link. All right, so like I was saying, they don't know what test automation means. They don't know. Now, you say you're a test automation, you're going to learn programming language. How do you plan to implement it in your workplace? How do you plan to onboard test automation in your team that is on Agile, that are releasing sprints every week, or deploying to production every week? How do you want to embed test automation inside of it? Some people say they have been writing test automation in their current workplace, but I can tell you that, let's go and check their repository. That thing is outdated. That thing is outdated. I need all these questions. Adobe, I need all the questions in the chat section. I need it jotted down. I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat section. So please kindly let me jot down, so that when we go to the next link, when we are addressing the question, we can address and answer them. I'm seeing a lot of sweet questions here that I need to answer. So please, in case you are not dropping question, let's not be distracted though. But let's drop questions in the chat section. I'm going to address every single one of them when I'm done. All right. So, like I was saying, that is not the flow. There is test automation that you need to understand. There is understanding even your CI/CD pipeline. Do you know that before you can even go into that, there is a DevOps part of your skill that you need to learn? There's a DevOps part. And that is why when the company say they want a software test, full stack test engineer, so to speak, you have a program, you have a developer experience by coding and stuff, you have your testing, and you have your DevOps skills. You have your project management skills in you. That is what makes you full stack. Not because you are doing manual and automation stuff that makes you full stack. Now, there is a flow to learning automation before you even go into learning programming language at all. And there's one thing to learn, there's another thing to implement it. You can see somebody tell you that I've been learning software development for the last 3 years. Why is the person not growing? They are not implementing. 4, you are not even building portfolio. I don't even want to go into that. I have a whole masterclass, a whole workshop coming up on that one. It's a paid workshop anyway. You are going to build your portfolio as a software tester, because I believe I can hardly find software tester that has a portfolio. Is your CV and your LinkedIn URL that you send to company as a portfolio. If we check your GitHub, is an ISO. Your portfolio of a project you have worked on. Let's see a whole full-blown portfolio as a tester. A lot of people don't have it, but I have a whole 8 hours portfolio building for testers course coming up before the end of the year. So you need to have a portfolio because you're an engineer. Why am I saying all of this? Because you're a software engineer. Because it seems nowadays, because you don't have all of these things, you are more like a mini version of a developer. That is how you are. That is how you are seeing yourself. And that's why you're being displayed. That is the way you're portraying yourself today, because you are just a mini version. You are just a mini version of a developer. But that's not who you are. You are much more than that. The call ends in 6 minutes. Just 4 more minutes and we'll leave the link. You are much more than that. You are much more than just a mini version of a developer. So you need the automation, test automation, coding skills, which I've already talked about. You start from basic to advanced. In fact, you need to understand programming first before you even pick up any programming language. The reason why any developer who is good with JavaScript can pick up React.js or Node.js or whatever JS that they are using, the reason why that developer can switch between JavaScript and Python from Python to Java, the reason why they can do that easily is because, do you know about algorithm? Do you know about all of those things? These things needs to be core of you first before you go and start saying I'm learning Java or Python or JavaScript. I feel like I'm screaming every time I'm talking. I'm always screaming. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, Kubernetes, Docker, all of those things. You don't even know how to spin an instance on AWS. Guys, you are a software engineer. These are the platforms you need to run your automation script. It makes your running easy and and fun and easy to automate. In fact, you'll be happy that you are automating. In fact, you will want to automate every single work they give you. That is it. Like if you have been a manual tester for a very long time, right? If you have been a manual tester for like 5 years, and then you now finally enjoy the sweetness of automation, my dear, you want to automate for the rest of your life. Because you finally see that, oh, what I'm doing can even be done easily. A lot of people ask that, oh, Princess, how do you now have, the link is in the chat session. Adobe, please reshare the link. Please be resharing the link. Resharing the link. You are leaving here in the next 4 minutes to the other link. In fact, I am already there. I'm just waiting to join. So, like I was saying, you need to, all this question, may Nasha they drop them. In fact, let's even use the Slack channel to be dropping this question, if possible. Let's use so that we don't miss them. I don't want to miss any of the questions anyway. All right, like I was saying, there is so much, but you have just been playing safe. You have been playing safe. You have been playing safe. You have been playing safe with what you have and with what you are doing. So we need to do more. I've talked about the coding skills. I've talked about understanding programming language, the what's it called now? The programming language, understanding programming before you even go to programming language. Programming first before programming language. Programming first before programming language. I feel like I'm screaming. Then we now talk about collaboration and communication. Testers. I know you want to para. I don't like using all of this filter anyways, but I feel like my environment is dark and I need somewhere bright. So testers, like I'm saying, you need collaboration and communication. I feel like talking about collaboration and communication, which comes in different form, one of the things that I feel like is that a lot of testers don't know how to collaborate, even in communities, how much more in work that we do, right? I know that a tester wants to be, I'm the one that tests this product that goes live, but a developer is not even jumping up the roof. There's one that write the code. Anyway, don't let me do that shit. I'm not shading anybody, please. So like I said, you need to collaborate and communicate more. there is there is a strong importance for effective communication and collaboration. I'm not saying, see, it's one way to be pampering and be playing the safe card. I don't want to say the right thing so that it doesn't hurt the developer. No, that's not what I'm asking you to do, because you are not meant to be pampering your developer. They are doing their job that they are being paid to do. You are doing your job that you are being paid to do. So nobody is asking you to pamper anybody, be it developer, PM, or whatever stakeholder. You are doing your job, but you need to be communication is reporting. I know that one of my managers once I used to stress a lot about reporting. Princess, I need report, because if you don't even report, the the team does not even know what you're doing. Do you know that if there's no report as a tester, nobody knows what you're doing? In fact, that were in this session before and they are not here right now. Let's just get them. Is Adobe on this call? Network don't carry a go. No. Okay, have you started recording on YouTube? So all this I'm saying now is on YouTube. Oh my God. Okay. Um, let me just continue. All right. So, like I was saying, I mean, we have a good number back here. Like I was saying, it's very, very important that we all collaborate. And like I was saying something earlier. Now I get my thoughts process back. I said, right now, your team does not even understand, what you are doing. Yeah, your team does not understand what you are doing until there is a report. I did this career mentorship program one time for a short people. I don't know if there is anybody on that session here. I did. I don't be okay. Okay, still recording. I'm on YouTube, so I wanted to be sure this is recording on YouTube. So I did a recording. I said I did a recording. What am I even saying? I did a career doctor session with some people, and then I told a few of them to share their test reports with me. And I don't understand what's going on in that report. Like, legit, I do not know what was going on in that report. The report was not reporting anything. That's the best word I can use to describe it. The report was not reporting anything. Even me, as a tester, I don't think I can understand or I will understand what is in this report. Reporting is key. Whether as a manual tester or as an automation tester, as a junior or as a senior, reporting is key. You should be able to report yourself because that is almost the only way people knows what you have done. A developer now, once they release a app or a website fixes, you can see it. Everybody can see the changes. But how do we know you have tested if you don't have a report that you have tested? A lot of you say that, in this company, I worked on 6-7 products. Those 6-7 products, just one of those products. Can I see a full portfolio of your work on it? Can I see your test case? Can I see your test plan? Can I see your traceability matrix? Can I see your bug report list? Can I see, the summary reports when you were done? Can I see the presentation you did to the team? Can I see your recommendation? Can I see your risk analysis of the product? Just one. I'm not even asking for too much. Just one. I barely can. It was a whole lot to see. It was a whole lot to see. So there is a need for collaboration. There is a need for collaboration. There is a need for I feel like I need to scream it. But there is a need for you need to know that there is a need for collaboration and communication. Communicate effectively. I was in a company one time because I testified. We help companies to onboard their QA team, help them to set up or train their testers. And one of the testers was reporting to the developer, and I saw it's not working. I click here. This is what I see. It's not working. What is not working? What is the meaning of it's not working? What is not working? How is it not working? The developer will always tell you that it works on their system, right? I understand developers can be very savage and say that it's working on my laptop, it's not working on my environment. You know that one. But even testers, you said it's not working. What is not working? Can I see your bug report? You just said, when I click here, I check here, and the thing crashed. So what were you expecting? Because in a proper bug report, you should tell us what you are trying to do, what you did, what you expecting versus what you got, what platform or what feature, what's the evidence? Because imagine in a scenario where you said that this thing did not work on your phone. When you did it, true, it did not work. True, it did not work. 10 minutes later, the PM and developer and I said, how is this thing not working? But it worked on my own. And then you went back to that same thing and it worked. How do you really tell us that this is not a delusion? It's called testing delusion. What we call bug delusion or test delusion? How are we sure that was not a delusion? Because there's no evidence for it. So you need to collaborate. When you're communicating, communicate the exact problem. That's what I'm telling you, that there's a difference between communication. I'm not asking you to pamper anybody. I'm not asking you to tell anybody what they should do and what they should not be doing. I'm telling you that you should do proper and adequate reporting. Report, communicate effectively. I'm not saying you should shout. I'm not saying you should insult anyone. I mean, that has to do with your own professional life. You have bad manners, you have bad manners. I'm talking about in your work. You need to be the strong, because you are the, I'm always saying this thing. It's just as if Princess used to scream. You are the police in the team. You are okay. We will share the link. Adobe, please share the link to join Slack. You are the police. You are the police. You are the police. You are the police in the team. Nobody, in fact, even though you are a good citizen, even though you are a good civilian, even you don't want to be friends with the police in Nigeria citizen. You don't want to be friends with them. Why don't you want to be friends with them? So you are, everybody don't like you. Even the citizen that is not even a thief does not like you. How much more a thief? How much more a thief? So they don't like you. So how do you make yourself acceptable? I'm a police. Okay, I'm the most feared person in the team. How do I make myself lovable? How do I make myself lovable? These are the things you do. So yes, that's the link to join us on Slack or in our community in the chat section. So you have to make yourself lovable, not being lovable by shutting your mouth up. And then when you're meant to speak up factually with data and evidence, you're not speaking up. Or you are there pampering your developer and say, no, let me tell you, this is the way it's supposed to work. But you know that in real sense, from the PRD is different. If there is a difference in disparity, the question is, when there was a difference discussion, why were you not there? Then let the PM go and update the document, because you test according to the document, not according to what the developer says. A lot of times, a lot of testers test according to what the developer says, forgetting that there is a foundational truth. There is a generally acceptable truth. There is a truth. There is a truth reference, and that's the business requirement document, not what your developer is saying. It's in the chat section, Ojinaka. Not what your developer is saying. That is not your truth reference. Your truth reference is in the business requirement document, is in the product requirement document, is in the system specification requirement, the SR, PRD or BRD, whatever it is. That is your reference of truth. Guys, that is your reference of truth. That is what you, not what your developer is saying. If what your developer implements is different from what you were expecting from your requirement document, bring the PM and the developer together, because the PM understands A, the developer is doing B, and then you end up testing C, and then you will be shocked why the team are testing what you don't understand. So please, collaboration is key. If what they are doing does not really, if what you are testing does not align with what is in the PRD, carry them together. You are the central man. I've been procrastinating on writing this article of the 5 R's every tester's wear. You are the central man. You are the one communicating one-on-one with the developer. You are the one, you should understand the PRD than even the developer. And even tell the PM to update their document, teach them how to update their documents. Their user story that is not up to date, teach them how to do it. But I mean, if you are doing just manual test execution, how will you tell them how to understand? When you don't even understand the PRD, how will you not tell them to update what they're updating? You have that one. 3, you are also the user in the team. Yes, you are the user. You are the first official user in the team. That is 3. 4, you are, of course, you are meant to have a DevOps skill. You're meant to have a DevOps skill. So, and you are also meant to function as a tester. So you're a central man, not just a tester that you, in fact, I've seen testers are the one by themselves. They go and sit at the end of the at the end of the road, waiting for product to be given to them to test. You are the one relegating yourself, not even the PM, not the developer, not the company. You are the one putting yourself at the end because of the skill sets you have, because of the confidence you have in your role. Because all you can see is that you're a tester, software test engineer. I hope I'm not shaking anybody's table. Now, the next one is quality assurance best practices. Quality assurance best practices. Even QAs, though. In fact, I'm always saying that if you are just 1 or 2 years in your career, don't tell me that your job title is quality assurance. I feel that title is just what the industry gave you, because you don't know jack about quality assurance. you don't know jack about quality assurance. Quality assurance has to do a lot with best practices. And if you are just 1 year into the field, they have not even understand testing to the full, and they want to start talking about standard and best practices. It's possible you can learn them interwovenly, right? But don't tell us that. So when I see job titles like quality assurance expert or quality assurance test engineering, quality assurance automation, what are you saying? What is automation in quality assurance? What are you even, can you people just write software tester? Just say you are looking for a software tester. Because when it comes to quality assurance, you are putting rules and regulation into play. As a QA engineer, for no whatever reason, should you close out any API that is meant to create a new thing with 200 without raising a flag? You have no business. Like for example, now they delete something, like the delete request on your API is now showing 200. Okay, when you delete, like why? Like why? I need to understand. I'm finding it hard to understand why. You did not raise any flag. It's another thing if, again, don't quote me wrong. It's another thing if, based on raising a flag, your engineering manager now says, okay, because of the state of things right now, we put this your say into backlog as something we will do to revamp our work done previously, because of course they must have done a lot of things before they bring you into the team, right? So they might start saying, okay, this is what they will do later. So or for now, generally accepted response code is 200 or 201. Is understandable. And make sure that it's 200 and 201. But that there is no such agreement or there was no such discussion with your team. Your developer just choose to use, you see one service. This one, when it's working, use 201. This one, when it's working, use 200. This one, for the same post request, this one, when it's working, use 204. And you are fine. And as far as you are concerned, it's return response successful. And then you say you pass. You're not a QA engineer. You are a checker. Yes, you are a software tester. All failures 400. All failures 400. You are not a software test engineer. You are not a quality assurance engineer. You are a manual tester. That's what you are. And sincerely, if you are any more than what you are earning, you do not deserve that pay. These are the things that companies see. And when they say, Princess, even the testers we have in our account, they don't even know jack. And it's true, they don't know jack. It is the way you present yourself. It's the quality of the work you do. It is the effectiveness of what you are testing. It's the quality of the work done. You are just a tester. You cannot now, that is why, when you now do all of this thing wrong, you now have mind. You want to ask for promotion. How? How do you want them to pay you double your current salary? When in real sense, you are deserving of that current salary based on the number of years of experience you have in testing. I don't scream too much. Anyways, you need to understand, as a software test engineer, you need to understand quality assurance best practices. You need to understand proper test planning. You need to understand test case design. Please, guys, don't just write test case like a pop-up seller. Write test case. Write test case. Write test case like a human being. Write test case as a software test engineer. I see test case. I don't see steps to test. I don't see test steps. I have seen test case. You see that 1 week that I used to do career doctor? I have seen test case, and it is marvelous in my eyes. Test case that does not have expected, test case that does not have test steps, test case that does not have test description, test case that does not have status, test case that does not have summary flow, nothing. You just write, you shall write three or four columns. And then you say that is what they are doing in your company. What have you brought as an added advantage since they employed you? They have standard to this thing. I think Adobe also need to write this down for me, that I need to start sharing templates of standard documentation. Templates as a community, we should be giving that template, standard template of a test plan, standard template of a test report, standard template of a test case document, standard template of a bug report. In fact, from the next event we are having in November, you guys are going to have a copy of bug reports. Because you see, that bug reporting is always giving me a headache. You start sharing the template. So you need standard, you need quality. That is what quality assurance is about. Best practices. Best practices. That is what quality assurance is. So when you tell me that a quality assurance automation engineer, I believe you don't know what you are doing. Because you are just following what the HR in your company went to go and see. What about your test coverage analysis? What is the metric for your test coverage analysis? What is your exit criteria? In fact, for those of you that write test plan, that write exit criteria, when last have you followed exit criteria to exit a product before? You can see what is missing. You can see a lot of what is missing. Like, you can see what is missing as a software engineer. Continuous learning. Some of you me and you, we know in your heart, as you are looking at me now, and in my heart, me and you know that it is before you started your career in software testing that you have learned something new last. Before you got that job was the last time you take a course, or you took a Udemy, or you went for a workshop, and then you paid, and then you participate, and you finish it. Me and you, we know. You know that I'm talking to you, you know. Yes. It is before you got that job is when was the last time you studied. After then, when last have you paid again? Princess, there is no money. You lie. Testers are always doing like broke people. I don't know why. We always doing as if we are broke. What is a lie? The amount you are collecting is what some PMs and developers too are collecting. I have developers in Lagos State, Nigeria, that is earning just 300K in a month. The same 300K that you're earning as a tester. But you see them, you praise them, they are the rich boys. Because they portray themselves as the rich ones. Why you, from your 300K, you are still need to take out 50K to learn something new? I don't want to shake tables. 2, there is latest technology. Now you have been hearing about AI. It did not come to your subconsciousness that how can AI affect testing? How can AI be used for testing? How can AI come into play? It did not come to your mind. I'm not shaking table today, please. I'm sorry if I started shaking table. I'm not shaking table. You have not talked about AI. What role does AI play? Because AI is giving you avatar headshot now. You are showing that you're beautiful. But you have not thought about it in regards to your career. There is a lot of trends coming up, but you're not learning it. How is it? There's one of my guys that we were yapping over the weekend that said he used WebDriver IO over the week, WebDriver IO. And we were asking the guy, and then we said, all these Asian skills that you people have, how about the latest skill that are on the table? Some people are still using Protractor to today. I'm not saying Protractor is bad. I'm saying that the latest one that has come after Protractor, Alpha, have you learned it? Or is still that ancient skill that you are still using till now? So you mean that you cannot go to a new company a company just started today when they don't know anything about Protractor because they have not even started their company when Protractor was running and raining. They just started their company this year, and they need a tester that uses, because Cypress is what they know. You are not coming and saying, WebDriver IO or Protractor. That's what we should all use. Let's carry all our automation and take it back to Protractor. It's good you have those skills. It comes in handy in your work, but latest technology, trends, get updated. Get updated. That's what I said from the beginning. It's good you have the skill and not use it and not having it at all when you need it. Testing in Agile. I mean, you are a software engineer, DevOps environment, and in Agile. I understand that there are some companies I know that I will not mention it. They have gone live before they tell QA to test. But you that they give products while development is still ongoing, how swift are you with the development of your test? You need to understand the evolution of automation, continuous integration, continuous testing in your test environment, how to use DevOps skill set, how to integrate with in your agile environment. The last thing I will talk about is career progression, or the second to the last thing I'll talk about is career progression. You know, if you have not read my article on Orivat, like, you know, if you have read my article very well, I talked about Orivat medication, and I believe that does justice, you know, to whatever I want to talk about to you guys about career progression. You are still doing manual testing for almost a decade now. You are not progressing. You have been working as a junior tester for the last 3 years. Alpha. Let's see, me, I can work in a company as a junior tester. Please, in case you're looking for a junior tester in your company, I don't mind. I'm open to it. Shall pay me what my salary means. For me, see, there are some people it's tied to, right? For some of us, is the pay. Me, is the pay that concerns. If you like, call me intern. Shall be pay me money. I can go to Google to go and work as an intern. As long as the payment is right. I don't have a problem. You will see some companies that are saying that you see some people that you know that say that they are just an intermediate level tester in the company. In your mind now, because you are a senior level tester in your company, you think that you are better than them until you get to the marketplace. Before you realize that there is a difference between senior and seniorism. So there is a career progression. What career progression are you following? Is it the horizontal or is it the vertical? And like there is a link in the chat that I had it, right? There is an Orivat medication that you are meant to take when you want to build your career in software testing. It means that you grow horizontally and you grow vertically. That is the way to grow in your career for a career progression. You can read the article for more details, and please engage when you read my articles. Ejo, please be cool. Dalo, engage. The last one is case study and success story. I'm guilty of not sharing success stories, but I also feel like I'm better because I used to write a lot of things on LinkedIn. Now, a lot of you ask me, please say you have time to be writing. I don't have time to be writing. All the things I posted for the last 1 week now, I already wrote them in 1 weekend and just schedule it to be dropping. That's the secret I just gave you now. I wrote them. You can write them on Saturday or on a Sunday and schedule it to drop. You will see that I was dropping posts back to back. You will think that I'm jobless. I'm not jobless. I was not writing those things. I'm posting them. I have written them down. There is a scheduling tool, scheduling on LinkedIn. There is scheduling on Slack. There is you can schedule things. I write and schedule them, and they just go and be dropping posts. It's only when I get notification of comment that I go there to go and interact. So you have to share success stories. Some of you have done training before. You know you're on this program. You know you finish from Testify, either SCST or TAS. You have learned, let's even say you finish module 1, module 2, module 3. You don't need to wait till when you have finished your whole program before you can share your success story. Share your success stories of the new thing you have learned, of the new skills you have acquired, of the new place you have worked. It's not show off. It's not popularity. It's not competition. It's not, I'm a very private person, but you're not private when you're collecting salary. And you will not be private when you want an HR from Google to slide into your DM. We are not saying you should go there and go and be lying. Like some people that are going on the road, car wanted to hit somebody, they help the person for the car not to hit the person. They will not come and be writing an article of how they meet the HR of their company on the road. They put grammar to it, and then the person was able to. So in summary, all those lies. No, I'm not asking you to go and be a storyteller. I like to write. So you can see me write a whole long post. You don't need to write a whole long post or an article like I do. Just half a page, quarter of a page. Just share success story. In fact, carry your phone. That is the one I want to learn how to do now. But you will not know that, princess don't like to do all of these things. Carry your phone and take it on the landscape like this and record, share it, drop the video. You don't have to write. You are not fine. You are not fine in this video today. You'll be fine tomorrow. The article you write today is not beautiful. The one you write next and next, and you keep getting better. You keep getting better. Share success story. Share case story. Talk. Share real life examples and success stories. I've seen software tester I've seen a developer transition into software testing. I mean, I meet a lot of them in our program at Testify. They transition. In fact, I've had people say that, wait, oh, so this is what testing is. Testing better pass this nonsense code we are just developed for this company now. And they transition into testing. Tester transition into development. Developers transition into software testing. You can move from software testing to product managers. You are not looking for a promotion, but because you did your work so well, you got promoted. These are the things that we need. So when you look at software, how do you think software testers, software engineers? Now, let me talk about this last part. Why do you think software development becomes so acceptable? Product managers, I mean, 5 years before, and I don't think they were that acceptable or well paid. When do you think they become more acceptable? A force of community. Not that you learned testing yesterday, you started community today. You will never have you write test case where. No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about force of community. You don't even need to go and start your community. Collaborate in the community that you are. How are you sharing knowledge? Princess, I'm just a baby tester, like some people will call themselves. I don't want to mention name, but she can see me on this call. I'm a baby tester. But you forgot that the little that you know, somebody wants to know it. They are already laughing. I didn't talk their name. They're already laughing. The little you know is enough to share. And the more you share, the more you know better. So you don't need to be princess or be one tester that you know that you want to be like, or become the Angie Jones of software testing before she switched into Java. Or no, you don't need to be the big bing bing before you share. In fact, ask those people that you see up there. I mean, I'm not there, but we are all looking up to some people. Ask those people you see up there. It is because they are sharing. It's because they are sharing. It's why they are knowing better. All of this thing gives you a value proposition. I've mentioned about software development to you guys. I'm actually done. This is me rounding up. I've already talked to you guys about software engineering and workspace testing. What makes you a software test and what makes you a software engineer as a tester is that there is an evolution in your role. You understand the concept of software development, test automation, coding skills, collaboration and communication, quality standards, continuous learning. I've talked about soft skill. I miss soft skill in my notes. Soft skill, anyways, testing in Agile and DevOps, career progression, case study and success story, and I shared so much more and other things. You can always rewind to listen, but most important is soft skill. You see this one, when you're coming into software testing as a career newly, they don't used to teach it. Though in STST you will learn. If you come to Testify Academy, you will learn. But I'm saying that it is 80% inborn, 20% thoughts. If I'm sorry to use this word, and I'm not meaning it as an insult, but if you cannot think, you should not be a tester. Because you need to have those soft skills. You need to have a problem-solving skills. That's why I said anything software engineering is problem solving. Your developers are doing 60, if one of them say 60 or 70, because they used to say 70% of coding is thinking, problem solving skills. You should be able to think about it, solve a problem, solve it before you test it, solve it before coding it. You need to solve the problem before you code. So it means that there is a level of problem solving skills that you should have as a test engineer. There is a critical testing, critical thinking. You see this critical thinking? You cannot buy it. And the funny thing about all of these soft skills is that when you own it, it makes you a better person. I'm not even talking about your career yet, though. It will make you as a person a better person because you cannot think critically. It's not that they say A, you say B. No. That A that they said, why is it A? Is it small letter A or is it capital letter A? Is it italic written or is it bolded? There is a critical thinking to it. There is an in-depthness. There is a curiosity. There is a troubleshooting. You want to know why, what is why, and is why. When you are explaining, you're not explaining at the surface level. When I come from an interview, there's an, I used to do interview too in an HROA one time. When you come for interview, right, I'll then be asking you, so what's the software testing? What is that? Some people, there isn't ChatGPT and Google to answer me. I see you, I screenshot it, that your eyeball. Some of you are even wearing glasses. I don't know why you're wearing glasses inside the room. You wear glasses, you are doing interview. You don't know that we are seeing all the Google answer that are searching from your glasses. You don't know what is going on. Anyways, you don't know that so what I did going forward is that I don't ask you what is a noun. No, what I do is that I will ask you questions, and from the way you respond, within 1 minute, I know you are not going to get the job. There is no magic about it. Critical thinking. You have to think it through. Answer me like you think. You don't go and fight war like a water level tester. When you are going to tell your developer that this is not working, I go with reports. I'm going to write. As a tester, you're working in a company, you don't have your own notebook that you write issues that you troubleshoot. You're a joker. It's everything that you code in your laptop. Paper and pen, I've not finished in the market. Go and buy one. Have it as a career. I have the book I used for everything testing when I was working at InterSwitch. I have the one I used when I was at Carbon. I have the one I used when I was different companies. I have them. These are the things you keep in your not just the book that people write, the one that you learned while you're on the job. The way you troubleshoot issues, the way you think things critically. These are the things you reference back when you go to another company that has the same products. So you need to think critically. When you are saying it, because I know I'm not working with dollars, I'm working with developers that are smart. They are software engineers from the beginning of their career. They have told them that you are an engineer, you are highly appreciated, you are highly valued. So I'm going there to tell them that what you did is bullshit. And I'm not going to tell them based on saying it's not working. No. I'm going to let them see the errors in what they have done. And the person will say, the person will be eager. I'm not going there to go and tell them that, oh, you have done bullshit, I'm going to insult you. No, I'm going to tell them that, oh, what you did is wrong. The logic you use around what you developed is wrong. The validation you did here is wrong. This is what you should do. This is how you should do it. This is when you should do it. And I will tell the person, this is what you did and this is what you lead into. But if you do it this way, this is what it will lead into. And if you lead this way, this is how it will benefit the team. You go with adequate reports. You go with proper explanation. You prepare 3, 4, 5 scenarios because your person is going to find a way to cut you away. He's a thief. He's going to find a way to boycott you. You are going to go with everywhere possible. And let them know that, okay, this is the reason why this has to be fixed. It's more like you are defending your case. Yes, you are defending your case. To tell a mother that his child is ugly. How do you tell a mother that a child is ugly without sounding stupid? That is what you are doing. That is your role as a tester. You are telling a developer that what he did is rubbish. But this is something he has sweat to do for hours, for days, for weeks, for months. I am at the table. You are not at the table. Please bring your value. So you are going to go with explicit reason, explicit explanation. This is what makes you a software engineer. So you are a software engineer. You are valued, you are appreciated. I am still the most important person in my team. Regardless when I started my career, if I choose to become an intern today, I will still be the most valuable software tester in the team. Whether there is developers or in 100 and there is PM in 1,000, as long as I'm in that team, I am the most important person in that team. You need to start seeing yourself as a software engineer and start understanding as a QA person, you are too valuable. If you are not necessary, if you are not as important as the company is making you feel, why did they employ you? Let's be realistic. Like, testing is not important. Then why did they employ you? Therefore, no hire tester. Now, companies will know ways to say tester, no, they important. They didn't hire tester. But they hire you because your role is important. Company know they waste money. Company doesn't waste money. So you think they will literally want to be giving you that salary for free without appreciating the value you're bringing? No. Companies don't waste money. I don't think there's anybody here running business that wants to waste their money. So as a tester, as a software engineer, typically why I don't like calling myself a software tester is always a software test engineer. I always tell you that I'm a software test engineer. I'm not a tester. Because the way we have used the word tester now, even a peer will tell you that because she has checked this, everything is fine. Does that make her a tester? Does that make her a test engineer? Maybe it makes her a tester because she's checking. She's manually doing a test execution, but she's not a software test engineer. That's something she cannot be, except switch role entirely. So as a software test engineer, you cannot be acting like Rainbow Rambo and just be doing the water level thing beyond testing. So if me and you now we are a tester, but me and you know that if they put both of us on the table, I will get the job more than you. Why? Because you are just a tester and not a software engineer. So you are not just a tester, you are a software engineer. All right. So with this viewpoint of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that you are not just a tester, but you're a software test engineer. I rest my pen. I will be over to you. Let me. Oh, great. Are we supposed to know all types of testing or specialize in a few? That's always been on my mind. Specialization can be based on domain, not type of testing. What that simply means is that you cannot say, I'm a component testing, I'm a component tester, or I'm a system tester, or I'm a modular tester. No. You can be a software test engineer, but your strength is in mobile test automation. And you can say that is all I want to do. I want to be focused on mobile test automation. Or you call yourself a product test automation engineer, in brackets, mobile. That can be a focus area. You can say, I'm a product, because I don't want to even be using software tester again anyways. I'm a product or I'm a software test engineer, web. Software test automation engineer, web. I'm a software test automation engineer, API. And you will brand yourself 100% that anybody in the universe, if they first come to their mind that they want to do API test automation, they should go to you. The issue I'm having with testers branding now today or focusing on the domain today is that you have not even packaged yourself as a full-blown software test engineer. What do you now want to focus on? I am a product test automation engineer or a product software tester. My strength, my major interest is on API. It does not mean I cannot do automation, because if you get the money there, it does not count automation because I need it now. So give me money, you'll find me there. I'm saying that when it comes to my area of strength, where I have gained mastery and I've earned the skill, there is an API. And when I'm writing API automation, you will not find 200 okay. And you find this one. No, I'm writing high-level multi-threaded automation script for API that I can connect to microservices, different microservices, and it will run uninterruptedly. That is an area I gain mastery in. You can gain mastery in mobile test automation. And when I say mastery, don't go under mobile test automation that because you know how to use one thing to test one thing. No. And say you have gained mastery in that area, then you can focus on that one. So you can gain mastery and say, when you go for an interview and then they say automation testing, and then you tell them that yes, you can do it. And then during the interview, let them know that this is an area that I have gained mastery on. Test automation engineers. There are companies that are looking for strictly API test automation engineers. There are companies that are looking for strictly web automation engineers. It does not mean that you will not do other things. Of course, you need to learn how to do manual testing, you need to learn how to do API and web. But that area is highly, because what their company is doing is mobile, and they're having issues in automating that mobile. So they need you. That is the strength they want to employ you on. So that is how you can specialize Specialize is gaining mastery in a particular section or industry or domain. That is how you can gain mastery. Now, it does not mean that in mobile test automation, in mobile testing, you are not doing component, system, functional, all of those things. So you are doing, but you need to gain mastery in a particular domain. If it's performance testing, you're gaining mastery on, awesome. If it's application security testing, awesome. If it's just strictly manual testing, you want to gain mastery on, awesome. But gain mastery, that's what we call specialization. You are a specialist in that area. Like when everybody is in a group of testers, we know that when it comes to mobile test automation, we can go to you for help. That is how you gain specialization. That is how you gain mastery in it. So with your mastery is when you can gain your specialization, is how you can then make your millions. I hope I answered that person question. The next one says, if not learning programming language and Selenium, please tell what is the right approach. The right approach, which I currently mentioned, is that one, you understand automation. Next, understand DevOps. Next, understand programming language. I'm not saying Java, Java, Python. No, understand the concept of programming. Okay? Understand the concept of programming. You can do data algorithm. You can do coding challenge. I'm not even going to ask you to go and be doing, if a data algorithm alone is programming. Understand the concept. When you are done with all of that, go and pick up any programming language and learn. Before you now start learning framework. Are you getting what I'm saying? When you learn framework, then in the course of learning programming and framework, you have then learned the tools you can use. Because when you're talking about I do automation tests, I want to, because I did something in the chat one time, I think it's last month, when a guy told my HR that he does Selenium, he doesn't do programming language. He only uses Selenium to automate, not programming language. I feel like entering the ground. You do Selenium, you don't do programming language. I'm confused. What's going on here? That's a framework. Like somebody telling me that he only uses Visual Studio Code, he doesn't use Selenium. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Are you guys joking? Selenium and all of those things are the testing framework that you use. Java, Python, these are programming languages. IDEs are your tools. They are your tools. So you need to know all of these things before you pick up learning programming language. I hope that answers the question. Next person said, what should someone aspiring to be a skilled automation testing do formation until you don't know automation? In fact, we have a course. Hey, we need to extend though. Another link, please, Adobe. We have a course on, for those that have done TASC, I don't know if you are here. We did a whole module on test automation, a whole module on understanding test automation and how to implement it. That's the first approach. The second approach, understand your CI/CD, your DevOps, version control, understand it. Next one, understand programming. I keep saying the same thing. It's more like the same thing that I'm saying. The next one is, so that's how you have to go about it first. Understand automation. Aside from using Udemy or Start a Journey, which other option do you recommend? We recommend our automation school. Our automation school is a 6-month program. It helps you to take you from, I'm a manual tester, from ABC to becoming a test automation engineer. In fact, is a test automation architect and engineer. That's what it makes you become in 6 months. A manual baby step. It's 6 months though, it's intensive. So if you know you're not ready for the intensive work, don't come near us. But I'll talk about it later. After this one. Please, Mark, could you help a list of skills that needs to acquire as a software engineer? I encounter network issue. The skills that you need, I'll talk about it when I'm talking about the TAS course. How do I package and showcase my portfolio as a test automation aside from LinkedIn and resume? Check out for our portfolio course in October. a portfolio course with COVID in either September or October. It's a workshop. It's going to take us like 6 hours. We are going to, and I'm not doing, when I said I'm doing a workshop, I'm not doing a workshop that I come and teach you. All of you will stay here and be listening to me like radio. No, there's going to be practical session. You will build. So I'm working with developers to also give us templates of what we can use to develop a portfolio. So the best language someone should start learning when he wants to start, there's no best language to start learning. How do we ensure effective in Agile model where the pressure to release? What should be the average pay for software testers in Nigeria as of today? I answered this question in our channel, in our discussion channel on Slack. Let me scroll to it quickly. So I said, let me share my screen on that. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Can anybody see my screen now?
Yes.
Awesome. So I shared this. I said, if you are, I said, now this is not a pain that the industry is all about money. I mean, there's a whole lot of conversation before then. So you might want to go and read it when you join us on Slack. Scroll down to June 12, right? So there's a whole lot of conversation that came with it. But in summary, I came here, I said, this is not a pain the industry is all about money. There's so much to talk about when dealing with the payment. You can also be earning 1.5 million naira per month and not be skewed. So that's another conversation for another day. But as long as payment is concerned, on an average, you should not be asking for less in your category. As a manual tester, you can do manual testing. Between 0 to 2 years, your pay should be between 150 to 300K. Between 3 to 5 years, your pay should be between 350 to 500K. 5 years and above, 600K. As a manual, like what you are doing is strictly manual testing. Automation engineer, that means you have manual testing plus 1 to 2 years of an automation engineer, you should be earning between 400 to 600. You have manual testing, adding 3 to 5 years to it, you should be earning between 600 to 800. Manual testing with more than 5 years of experience as an automation tester is 1 million plus. Again, this is an average. I have above 5 years, but I'm not going to collect 1 million naira from you as a salary. So again, I'm giving you these prices on an average. On an average, you can definitely collect more, but you should not be collecting less. I hope I answered that person's question. So this is an average. Now let me go to the chat section to see if there are, please, if there are any question that I missed, kindly drop it so that I can attend to them. I'm going to the chat section now to answer questions. So please, let's drop more of our questions there. More questions, more questions. All right. Somebody asked a question here. Let me see. Blossom said I have something to share on my LinkedIn for the first time. Oh, you're welcome. Please talk about it. Your Twitter. I know test engineers don't used to use Twitter. Who are use Twitter? There are jobs there, even more than LinkedIn itself. You'll be shocked. There are jobs there. There are opportunities on LinkedIn, on Twitter, even Instagram or Thread. I know Instagram or Thread is not really like a biggie thing for test engineers, but LinkedIn and Twitter you should not be allergic to them. All those I don't like to use, social media. It's not against the scripture. In case that is what you want to tell me. And if that's what you want to tell me, you have to back it up from scripturally. And if we need to go through a whole Bible session on it, I will go through a Bible session on it with you. So please, it is not against the scripture and it's not against the man to be on social media. At least, especially when you're not using it for nonsense. You're not following the wrong people. You're not using it wrongly. So could you please help list out the skill? Okay, I've answered that question. Some of us sometimes are afraid to raise a defect as a tester because we are not confident in ourselves. We want to do one-on-one with developer in the teams and resolve the issue. Yes, that is the answer to it. You are not confident in the defect you are raising because you are not even sure that what you are raising is a problem because you don't even understand the PRD. So if you don't have the confidence to raise this issue with your developer, raise a bug defect, go back to the basics of your testing skill. You need to go back to the fundamentals of the PRD of the product that you're working on. And you also need to know how to raise defect properly. So please, all those timidity, drop it off. If not, testing will still be the last skill everybody wants to do in the world. We need to package ourselves. Yes, that's the reason why, again, I hope I'm in a safe space. That's the reason why a PM who does 60% of researching is earning over 900K, and you that you're a tester, you're earning 250K or 150K. Because of the way you place yourself, the way you value yourself. I always say it. I've always used this analogy. In fact, by now you should be tired of hearing from me this analogy. If you carry the same clothes, in fact, what I say, you carry this t-shirt now, go to Alaba market. I'm gonna put it there. Alaba is like the popular general market for both the poor and the rich. Anyway, it's a general market that people go to buy stuff cheaply, affordably, so to speak. When you go and put this tissue, they'll put it on the floor and then they'll carry a bell. Buy tissue, 300-400 naira. Everybody will go there. In fact, people will go there and guess what? They will price it for 15 naira for the 5. People will go there and price 5 for 30 naira. But this same tissue, just one, make sure it is wrapped, place it in a white jar, put a smoke around it, and then wear your suit and say, buy this tissue, and talk about the benefit of the tissue. Talk about the importance of this tissue. Talk about why this tissue is effective. And say it goes for 1 million naira. Even the person wants to price it, they will never price it for less than 800K. Just one tissue. The same thing, but different value proposition. So how are you placing yourself? A company will come to me and say, Princess, I need a tester. I said, how much can you pay? You said you can pay me 1.5. You said you want me to work with you, you can pay me 1.5. And I said, sorry, I'm not available. I can refer you to a tester that will collect that money and jump on it. It might be the same skill that we can do, which I doubt. It might be the same thing that we can do, but the issue is the value proposition, which comes with years of experience, which comes with mastery, not just because I'm a tester. And Princess has said we should package ourselves, and then you are just a tester. You don't have a skill of automation. You don't have a skill of a core manual tester. You have not presented your skill value proposition. Remember when I was differentiating between the two types of tissues? When I was talking about this tissue, I'm not saying 315 naira, come and buy. In the other tissue, I'm saying the importance of a test of this tissue. I'm telling you why you must buy this tissue. Why this tissue? It is value oriented compared to quantity oriented. That's the difference. You are a quality assurance engineer, not a quantity engineer. So if a company has one of you in a company, they should understand the difference in the product. But the company has like 3 or 4 of you, but they cannot still feel like they have a software test engineer. So guys, please, you need to go back to your skill and make it value oriented, make it value proposition, and then present it and check if nobody will pay for it. So yes, that's one thing I wanted to answer here. Another thing somebody said is that, okay, I think that's, is it not recorded? Yes, it's recorded. It's on YouTube. Standard template. Yes, please. We'll drop the standard template. Not to all at once. So we're going to be saying if we give you that, you go use them. We'll drop it on the group one by one, is what I'll be dropping. And I better be seeing it on your portfolio that you're using it. So somebody said, some Nigerian traditional firms do not allow most testers to exercise some of this. They are so bureaucratic and avoid processes, especially PMs. They think we are blockers to their going live and delivering their projects. And this makes slack back actually. You're correct. But I'm always saying that until we start taking responsibility for the lagasciousness we face, we'll never make a move. I say if you're not confident without reservation, that you are the reason why your company does not appreciate you. Because even what you are doing it slackfully. You are testing. I know you want to tell us that what you are doing is a lot of work. But how about the quality of the work you are bringing? How about go to that product when they go on production? How about go and test that product and show them the box? How many people have even done test on production here? You are too scared. Is it that they used to tell you production is like, if you do it on production, people will die? People will not die. People will not die. Like, they have so put that fear of production in you, like, yeah, production is. Have you forgotten that you're a user? You will use that product as a user. Have you gone to show them the bug? What are the bug? What are the quality of the bug you are raising? Are you sure you're not raising 10 bugs for us? And all the 9 of them are low issue that people can ignore. And even 8 of them are even features, they're not even bugs. It all boils down to the quality of the work we do. If the quality of the work we do, we speak value, let it speak value. And let me see how they will ignore you. I don't mind any PM that is trying to do anyhow, because PM does that a lot. It's not my business. You can try and be doing you're the champion conquer, but I will tell you that you are going live on that production. I have no clue about it. And don't come and ask me for test updates about it. But now you are the tester on the products. So PMs can decide to do anyhow, can say, I'm a tester. I also have a testing skill. That's their problem. Do you, and let me do my work. You need to come to that point of software test engineer and work as a software test engineer. You need to do that. The 8 hours you are spending in a day, are you sure you're not using to gist in the work at office? You need to laugh with the developer, you need to do a lot of things. When you have work to do, 8 hours is enough in a day to show value proposition of your skill. 8 hours. But really, let's ask you, are you really spending that 8 hours at work? Be sincere. Are you really spending that 8 hours? Because when I see what some testers say they do, you say for the last 8 hours, for a whole 1 week, 40 hours, and this is what you have done. Come on now. Even if you are the PM, you will not appreciate you. Even if you are the developer, you will not appreciate you. You are not at the detriment of any product manager. They are not working on that. They are not your manager. They are a product manager, not human manager, not your team manager, not your test manager, not your engineering manager. In fact, not even your HR, not even your CTO. They are managing products, not you. They are a staff, you are a staff, the developer is a staff. You all have the same level of value proposition in the team. Hold up to it and present a value that makes you fit to that table. Stop being the last person in the team. Your PM will not be the one as if she's the one, controlling all your work and what you should do and what you should not do. You are the cause of it. You are the cause of it. Take charge of your skill and be at the front line of your skill. Not being at the front line and bullying and shouting on everyone, but be at the front line with value. Speak when you're meant to speak up. Not when your PM present a whole report, talk about what all the developer does, but forget to mention about testers and you keep quiet. That is relegation. That is shutting down your skill. Talk about what you do. Talk about what you do. If your PM is presenting at the end of the week, present your test report at the end of the week. Write test report and present it. This one is about to end. Adobe, do you have another link? Oh, it's ending now. Guys, please, let's join. Bye-bye. Like, we want to start learning software testing afresh. Okay, we have Innocent.
I'm here.
Okay, cheating me. All right. I don't want to be sure that So I'm not just sharing information that is not useful. So I'm going to share 4 stages that you can go through to learn. And also we have courses you can take to learn. I'm always saying that to learn is always 2 ways. You can do it freely, you can do it with other people. The difference has to be in the value proposition that you're providing. Everything has to do with value. We have 45. It still remain 9 people. Though. We have 54 on the last call. We have 54 on the last call. So please, let's share link. Let me go back and share the 3rd link again on my LinkedIn post as well. Hello, people, please let's ensure that we are sharing link. Yeah, so we are waiting. We still have 47. We need more people. So, Adobe, have you started recording? Can I continue? All right. So, while I'm trying to get the test automation master, there's something in that master class that I want to share with you guys. There's a whole recorded session on it, but in case going to be watching that one is a whole lot. So let me just find the tips. Become a sought after. Adobe, if you can help me find that master class, I would appreciate the master class, Canva class on test automation master class. Let me find it on Canva. Test automation master class that we did. This one I'm seeing is agenda. I don't know. This one is agenda. I'm looking for it. Please help me find it. Help me find it. I will appreciate, so that I don't leave the team to go and be doing something else. I'll find it. But let me answer some questions and then go to SCS and NTS and round up. So guys, we need to round up. This is 11 o'clock. What guidance would you offer a test engineer who is considering leaving their position due to ongoing problems they are reported the product? Yeah, the developer haven't resolved the issue. Why do you not want to leave your job? No. My advice is don't leave your job. Developer is meant to do a job. They are not doing it. Then you now want to leave your job for the I'm confused. No. What you have to do, keep doing it. Keep reporting, keep documenting that issue and presenting it to the person that is important to the most. That is why your test report is critical. Maka, why? You don't get another job where you go. No. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your career. Don't do that to your self-esteem. You know what I mean? Don't do that to your. It's called testing report, not test summary report now. It's called test sprint reports. I don't please help me document down these things. So I don't want to forget to. Right? It's called test sprint report. Test sprint report actually helps companies to know which developer they should lay off and the one they should not lay off. Yes. It helps companies to know which engineer is due for promotion and the one that should not even be in the team. So yes, rather focus on your reporting. Let your reporting do the talking. Okay? Not leaving your position. I don't understand. How will I leave my job that I did interview and I passed? So come and leave it because of a developer. No. report. Why did the developer that is even doing the rubbish do the job? All right. Next one is said, okay, these are the new, I'm new. Abasa, are you not a student already? If you're a student already, then you don't need it. Please shed more light on the
No,
database
I'm not
testing.
a student. I finished my training long ago.
Oh, okay. It's for those that wants to start a career in testing afresh, right? And needed help on how to get started. So that's what I wanted to talk about in the master class. So I think I've already answered that one. Database testing, you might have to do more research. This is not the session for that. Maybe we have a workshop on it later, but database testing is what you can browse and learn to know about it in details. But it's not something I can start talking about now. If not, we will not close. But basically, when you're talking about database testing, you're then talking about the critical aspect of the software QA and focus on verifying. When you're doing database testing, you're testing the integrity, you're testing the accuracy, you're testing the reliability of the data that is being stored in the database, and ensuring that this database or this data in the database actually meets with the expected requirement, and the database actually functions correctly within the software, right? And of course, we are talking about software testing, database testing types. I'm talking about data integrity testing. I'm talking about data migration testing, data validation testing, performance testing, security testing, concurrency testing, backup or recovery testing. I'm talking about regression testing. You're even using tools like SQL queries. You're talking about database testing tools like DB units, Apache, Data Factory. You're talking about test data generation. You're talking about mock database, and then you're also talking about, so after all of the things I mentioned initially is all about the types of testing, data migration, integrity. I also talk about the tools and techniques, SQL queries, database testing, data generation, mock database. We're also talking about best practices, right? Like data management, documentation, isolation, automation, continuous integration, performance baseline, database testing, not just I check, waka, pass. All right, so I hope I answered and gave a little about that. But there's so much more in database. Can you help with AI testing resources and resources? Coming up with resources that are value oriented takes a lot of time. Like right now, we have more than 4 courses that are recording in Testify units right now. We are recording it directly. We are chunking off what is useless, what is not useful, and focusing on strictly what is useful. So to come up with all of those resources is a lot. It's a lot. So for now, you can go ahead and read about it online. Generally, I have a knowledge about it. Take some courses about it. Free courses on Udemy and stuff like that. If I use ChatGPT to even learn about it, it helps. But when the resources all come out from us, we definitely let you know. Akimbami, please switch off your camera. You are dragging screen with my CV. Please, my senior colleague in the industry, I'm available for collaboration. Iberi, leave us alone. As the only tester in the company that has many products, how do you put everything that has been said in place? Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask for help. When last did you have a conversation with your company to hire more testers? I'm always saying this thing, everything you want to do has to be quality and value oriented. Before you tell them that I want to do, before you tell them that I want A, what is the value proposition you are bringing to the table? We are testing A, B, C, and D. However, based on what I need to do on a product, I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for me to actually do a proper test on a product. And I also want to integrate automation to make our testing easy. However, I cannot do all of this in 3, 4 products. I know that the company might not have money to employ the best of the best and right now, But how about employing interns who can do some of this work to make it easy for me to do a proper test? If you employ interns, I'll be available to guide them through what they are doing. Interns with 100K, you can get a good intern and then let them work with you for 3 months, 6 months. If you feel they are not good enough, you let them know and they can change them and bring in someone else. But remember, from what you are saying, you have provided a value to that person because they do not know. See, I'm always saying that the way I attack problem at times is that I believe you don't know. I believe they don't know. So I attack. I don't try to assume that you know what I know in my head. I don't try to assume that this person knows that QA is a lot. No, why I keep talking about QA or testing every day on LinkedIn is because I'm assuming that people don't know about testing yet. And that is what fuels me talking about it every time. I'm not sounding like a retired battery. So don't assume that they know they're supposed to employ people now. No. And don't just go and tell them that apply more QA. No, make it value oriented. Present it as a professional. That is a proposal you are bringing to the table. You are helping the company to solve a problem. You are solving your own personal headache, and you're also helping the industry at large to employ more people. So it's not just something you do anyhow on seriousness. I've learned testing and that's it. If you're a tester and have not gotten promotion in your job in the last 3 years of your career, there is something you are doing wrong. And promotion does not have to be in terms of title or in terms of money. It means that you also have people that are working with you now. You started in the company with one alone. And in the last 3 years, they have not bringing more testers. You have not been promoted. Because if they don't bring in more testers, you cannot even move to an intermediate or a senior level managing other testers. There's something wrong with what you are doing. In your mind that you are testing, I don't test and that it's passed. They have gone live because I test that it's passed. Even the product you are working on in your company, how have you talked about it? Have you reposted your post? Have you bragged about it? This is where I work. Have you branded yourself as a tester for that company? So much to do with packaging for testers. Not packaging like lying, but packaging in terms of the way you present yourself as a value proposition person, as a software test engineer, value field. Please, can you be dropping our CVs for other reviews to help us build a better CV? Yes, please. Drop it on the discussion channel. People are going to review and comment. The issue is that testers don't want to drop CV. They want to hide everything. You don't know the skill. You don't even want to talk about what you know so that nobody will batch you. The CV you are submitting up and you are not getting done. You don't want to share it. The interview went for that, they didn't call you back. You didn't talk about it. Everything is just clouded within you. So PMs are there all over shouting. Developers are there all over shouting. But you are the tester, you are hiding. First of all, your skill is not even yet to be embraced, or you are hiding. What are you doing? And then you think that people that are talking on LinkedIn, they are noise maker. Oh my God. If you know what offers enter their DMs, you will know that that noise is what it is. I will keep shouting on LinkedIn. If you like, be angry seeing my face every morning on LinkedIn. You will keep saying it. You cannot do anything about it until you unfollow me. Because I know what that shouting has brought to my DM. I know offers that have helped people to secure because I'm shouting on my LinkedIn. People come and say, Princess, I've been looking for, I didn't even know, I just come across your profile. That means you can help me look for testers. I know we cannot pay you. Shall help me look for testers? And I go give it to, I have helped over 500 testers secure job just by shouting on LinkedIn. I know how I bring offers in the WhatsApp group before now. You know how I bring offers to WhatsApp group. These are the ones they send to my DM as a result of me shouting. But you are there. No, you are behind the scene. I don't want them to know. I'm a private person. I'm an introvert. But you are there at that job. You are killing yourself. It's okay. We'll meet in the future. Somebody said, dear software engineers, please consider me for internship in your company. Once you have any internship opportunities, please drop it on the available jobs channel on Slack. There's a Slack there. There's a channel there on Slack called available jobs, right? It's not only testify people, number 5, 05 available jobs. It's not only we that will be dropping jobs there. If you see any jobs in any WhatsApp group, in any community, anywhere, drop it there. What we did, do you know that we actually implemented software on that channel? We created a bot that go and search for jobs on the internet and post it on that channel. Testify is the one that built that bot. And that's why we're able to drop jobs there almost practically every day. We drop more than 20 jobs on that channel every day. But you are not applying. You are not even applying. You have seen a job yesterday. You think it is me that will be going to be looking for jobs up and down and be seeing when Akome, Ascentec, Somfy, or a job in England, Switzerland, Australia. You think I'll be the one to be seeing all? I can't see all of them. Now that they have been looking for a job for the past 1 year, but they have not applied to one. So please drop your review in the discussion channel for conversation. In fact, if possible, since it's all about jobs, maybe we should even use the available jobs channel to be dropping our CV, because it's all about jobs, right? So we can be dropping our CV there. Somebody said, Mayowa, I just finished a course on manual testing, but I still feel I'm not well grounded. Please, can you provide what I don't know where you learned from, because where you learned from should have showed you how to implement what you have learned and how to go about it. So if you have not learned, if you don't know how to go about it yet, it means that you need to implement what you have learned. When you implement what you have learned, it makes you feel more grounded. Implement, and show yourself approved. Implement, and show yourself approved. I was asked a question during an interview. I didn't give the correct answer though. What will you do if the developer says they can't fix a bug? What should his tester do? My developer even has mind to tell me that they cannot fix the bug. It's the audacity for me. My developer doesn't even have mind to tell me that they cannot fix the bug anyways. But that's why I cannot really give a picture of if I'm in that shoes. But I would say that let your bug report speak. Assign the bug report to the developer, put it on the board, write a detailed bug report, put it on the board for both your developer and everybody in the team to see it. Now, if that issue is not fixed, bring it forward in your report that this issue has been fixed, has been logged, but it was never attended to. Explain to them why this issue is important and let the developer and the PM go and fight the battle from there. But first of all, a developer should not even have the confidence to tell you that they cannot fix an issue. It all depends on the way it is being. In fact, I'm even saying that even if you talk rubbish, the developer should not tell you that I cannot or I will not fix an issue. If they don't know how to fix it, they can go and get help. Every developer knows that they need to go and get help to fix an issue. Either from the engineering manager or Stack Overflow, they have to get help to fix an issue. So is the person saying that I cannot do my job? Then communicate it to the engineering manager. Oh, there is an issue. Yes, I don't want to fix it because the developer said he doesn't know how to fix it. You have to be sarcasm sometimes. Anyways, don't mind me. But yeah, you get what I mean, right? Yes, I mean it. It's not just sarcasm alone. It's not just shade. Let the developer know that you should not bring such to you next time or tell you that I cannot fix the issue. Like, who are you telling you are not going to fix the issue? Anyways, so for those that just want to learn software testing, I'm always saying that there are few. You have a wrong mindset. I don't want to talk about all of that one today. My issue. Where is my presentation now? Hi. Not seeing my slide again, no. I'm not seeing my slide again. Okay. So those that want to learn software testing from scratch, you have not taken a course before, you don't know anything about a course before. So what you need to do, you follow. Where are the first? I just need the first step to be alone. The template you sent to me is empty, and there will be the first one is empty. The second, let me see the second one. Voila. Yes, let me show you some for automation people. Why we look for? Okay, I will show you when I'm done presenting. So let me go to automation people before I come back to the STST. I don't please go and look for the STST one. But let me go for automation people. You want to learn automation. What is the right approach to go through when learning automation? How should you go about learning automation? What is the right manner to start learning automation? For instance, I say I should not learn programming language. What's I need to do, right? There are 5 phases that we break it as 5 phases. The first one is written in French, but it simply means test on understanding the test automation fundamentals. The second one, now, when you talk about learning test automation fundamentals, we are talking about having an in-depth details of test automation from the perspective of a test automation engineer, not just a manual tester. Clearing the myths and the biases you have about test automation and having an in-depth knowledge in contrast to the definition of test automation that you have. Having a full knowledge of where your expertise is required and the strategy to deploy it excellently within an agile environment. The issue why a lot of people don't go through this flow is that they think they know it. Yeah, you think you know what it is already. You think, shade as it. Until when you start taking it in details. The second one, you need to break down the skeleton of what programming language is. You need to programming language. If you have understand the skeleton of programming language, you can pick up JavaScript, Python, and Java, and you understand it. If you don't, once you spend 6 months to understand the programming fundamentals, or you have taken a cognitive time to understand programming fundamentals, you can go to this company and tell you that, oh, in our team, it's JavaScript that we are using to do automation. Or in our team, it's Java that we are using. You will fall in anyhow because you understand programming fundamentals. That is the reason why a software engineer believes that he can do test automation because you understand programming fundamentals. He can write programming language and then he can do, which is unique kind of test action. That's why a software developer cannot do test automation, because what you are doing test for is their unit test, not really the entire test. So programming understanding is the benchmark of automation. If you don't understand it, you have no business with Selenium, Cypress, whatever framework you're using. You have no business yet. You should have the ability to code as an engineer. The ability to code as an engineer. And the thing is that why a lot of people don't do it is that they believe that coding is difficult or is hard, so they can't get it. The next one, now, test automation simplified. This is when you start learning in terms of the hierarchy. You learn how to do API testing. API test automation is always more than UI. But a lot of you used to write UI more than API. It's because you have less time. You don't put less time into understanding the architecture. So there is API. Please, Adobe, share the link to the Slack again on the thread section so that people can start joining. So you need to understand how to write API automation, web automation. And before you start writing scripts, because there is scripts, there is framework, and that makes you an architecture, a test architectural engineer. You know how to develop the framework, and then you know how to now write scripts and maintain it. That's why I said here that you can become a skilled automation engineer and you can decide to specialize. Don't tell me that I'm a specialized mobile test engineer, but you don't know how to do automation mobile testing. And a lot of people still have the mind that automation will take over their job. That if they start doing automation, there's no work in testing again. That is the most dullard statement anybody can ever say. The fourth one is deployment. How do you deploy? Should we talk about Git and GitHub and version control? Hope I will not lose you along the way when I start talking about it. Are you sure you can catch up when I start talking about how I integrate from my IDE to my version control to deployment like Jenkins or Kubernetes, how I spin instances on AWS? Are you sure you will not get confused? Or if you are not even, are you using the Blue Ocean or Digital Ocean, or you're using AWS, are you sure you will not get lost along the way? All of these things, you need it Your DevOps engineer comes in here. Your DevOps skills comes in here. And the last one is how to now. Now, a lot of people is one. I'm always saying that I mean, Derry Tola is a graduate of this program, right? And I'm always saying that there is a way you hit the market. I've had people come to the program with just a special that Princess C. I don't want to come and learn this so that I can get this international job. I no one they apply for my company again. And no one their business. Nigeria company, they always price me like pepper seller. But there is a way you apply for jobs. I don't send I don't see, it's not bragging, but I need to brag. In fact, at this stage of my career, I think I have the permission to brag that I don't send my CVs to companies again to go and be looking for a job. You're applying, or you're sending your CV to my DM. All those things you guys do on WhatsApp. Send your CV to my DM. Or if you're interested in this role, send your CV to gmail.com. I don't do that stuff anymore because it's stress. Over 50 people are sending their resume. When do you want to meet the top of the list? There is a strategy to it. So when you tell me that you're hiding behind the scene, I'm looking at it because the job you are looking for, somebody just got off a letter of it. Somebody just got the offer of what you're looking for. Once you have the experience required, even in that same company, you can ask for promotion and you can be better. Now, these are my 5 mantra for learning test automation. These are my 5 mantra for learning test automation. And I will tell you that there are 2 ways to learn. Right? I'm always saying that you can either do it alone or you can get to learn. Now, do it alone means Udemy, Udacity, anything you want to use. Online, YouTube University, Udemy, Udacity, you can learn them on your own. You'll be fine. However, I'm trying to see how long you are going to use $99 courses. How many of the $99 courses you are going to take? I mean, apparently for our course today, for the test automation school, you need to take, we have 16 of those courses you need to take on Udemy to meet up with our curriculum. 16. I know it's not $9. So $9 times 16 of them. And that is you still learning on your own. So again, you can do it on your own, or you can choose to go through academy. Now, talking about academy, I know today, I don't want to shake this table. In fact, I don't like to shake this table. Sometimes table shaking can help all of us. I have a lot of people who finish from Testify training and they started training other people. It's 100% online, 100% remote, just like our STST program. I'll talk about it. You just finished learning. You yourself, if you look at the test case and the test report you are creating, it's an ISO. You started training other people. You started collecting money. You can share knowledge. It doesn't mean you have to start creating an academy. So you need to understand the difference between an academy and knowledge sharing platforms. Person is sharing your knowledge and packaging it for you as a course. You're on your own. Because people sign up to courses today. I hear the way people sign up. I used to laugh. I know it's 50,000. I know it's very cheap. I know it's, you can pay anyhow and move. You learn it sharp. You will go. Somebody even said they are teaching software testing in 2 weeks. You become a software test engineer. I used to laugh in Swahili. Anytime I see things like that, you know how to laugh in Swahili. That's how you laugh in Swahili. Look for an academy. Now, let me tell you the attribute of an academy. You will have accountability partner. One-on-one, maybe not one-on-one, it might be group, but you have accountability partner. You have mentor assigned to you. You have weekly check-ins. You have weekly check-ins. You have reporting. You have presentations. You have interviews. You have job preparation. You acquired the skills. It is years ago. We can go back and go and check your registration ID. Your certificate has a registration ID. That is an academy. Not you went to go and take one course. They call it Clinical Testers or Clinical Software Testing Institute or click on Test Academy, and then you go to sign on 50K, you know, and then I'm learning this. And then somebody told me in the career coach consulting room that she learned software testing for 8 months, but she did not work. She did not even know how to do Bob reports. Like, you literally paid money. And it's not even by the money, because somebody paid 750K to learn software testing. And the person, in fact, I saw the person test it and I was crying because I knew that that person just wasted money. £750 in UK. And when I see what the person was presenting, even the report document is what the quality of the test that the person was doing. I said, no, even person who just finished module 2 for Testify cannot tell me that this is an adequate test. Somebody was gisting me, I don't know if the person on this call was gisting me that he joined a company. Before he joined that company, there were 3 testers in that company. Altogether, those 3 testers have been working in that company for years. I've only been able to create over, let's say, 200 test cases. But he came, and within just a month, he has created over 500 plus, what am I saying, 1,000 plus test cases. You can see the difference between testers. You can see the difference between the values you get in academies. So anyway, I don't want to say so much. Either as an automation person or as a manual testing, we provide this. This same 5 framework is what we do at Testify. I told you that you can do it alone here, or you can do the automation school. We have, in fact, we even see 6 now. It has been upgraded to 6 seasons module with over 200 lessons. We have 24 weekly live weekend meetups. We have interview with hiring managers, and then there is mentorship for you to take. They are detailed on what are you going to cover in the course. It's 100% remote because we have students from UK, from US, from Germany, from Canada, from Ghana, Accra. So it's 100% online. But I don't know if there's any software tester from STST here that is working, that wants to talk about, because, you know, the way when people see things that are online, they say, it's online. All those online things, they are not serious about it. Anybody that has done STST automation school here, anybody, no student on this call, Wahala. Feintola, I think you have done STST, but your okay, when you have done STST online, I don't want to talk about the online experience. Does it really feel like online in terms of, I went to take a course online, you know, the way you take course online, or in fact, how does it feel taking Testify online course?
Intensive.
She just said intensive and mute herself. Ebere, Ebere, you are in UK and you took this course. How was the program? Were you able to?
Why are you laughing, Princess?
I know what you want to say. Say what you want to say.
For an online class, it didn't feel like an online class. It felt like a physical class because there was a lot of collaboration, you know, working with different people from different locations and all that. So it was, like Feintola said, it was intense. There is no way you could have survived without, you know, collaborating with people. It felt like a physical class though, even if it was an online class. And there were people you could talk to, you could meet with, and, you know, not like Udemy where you're just reading. There's no one to ask question on anything. You just read and read and read. But this one, there are mentors, there are people that you could reach out to when you can't make its way. Do you understand? So it felt more like a physical class. So yeah, that's one thing I enjoyed. And then it wasn't too formal. Everybody there was vibes, there was crews, not too serious, but you're learning. Yeah, so
exactly.
That's it.
Feintola, you want to say something? Basira said it's a survivor, it's a group survivor. Feintola, you want to say something? Your hand is up.
No, I'm not saying anything. I think Ebere has summarized everything.
Exactly. So it's online. Though it's an online class, you know, but it's not online. But it's online. That's the best word I can use to describe it. And what I'm always saying is that it takes, for automations, it takes 6 months, because I don't expect you to learn, because at the end of the 3 months, right, what am I even going to learn? You are going to know how to do automation. Let me just say it that way. In fact, you become a test architect. because you are going to know how to develop framework. You are going to know how to do test automation for API, mobile, and web, right? You're also going to know how to write at least 3 programming languages, because you have done the fundamentals of programming. To pick up any other programming language will not be hard. So in this program, in 6 months, you'll be able to do JavaScript, you'll be able to do Java, you'll be able to do Python. So you're not going out there to go and speak English when you say automation. You are speaking as a test engineer, not a tester that went to learn automation. No, there are 2 different things. The difference between a test automation engineer and then a tester that learned automation. It's online and it's strictly for manual. So you must be either a manual tester or you have completed our 3-month program. You know, either of them or both of them is fine, but it is for a manual tester. You know, you are like you are just having up a career in testing. This is not where you have to start. Go and take the STST course and then take the TAS course. This is online. What you need is you need to have a previous work experience as a manual tester, or you know, you have a skill of a manual tester. You have a functional laptop, internet, and electricity. You see, I'm not saying you should have known JavaScript, because it is baby beginner friendly, taking you ABC from I don't like coding to you developing a full-fledged automation. The fee still remains the same. It's $640, which is equivalent to 300. I believe that dollar don't go up now, but the naira value still remains the same. It's still 350K, and you can pay in installments, right? Pay 100K to start, pay 150K 1 month into the program, 125K, like you break the remaining 250 into 2. So you can pay in 3 installments, and you can pay during the program. When is the next cohort starting? The next cohort is starting 1st of October. Princess, is too far. I thought we need something in September. If enough people sign up for September, I can do September intake. So in case you are interested, you can sign up now. So if we have enough people, we can just do September intake. But the ultimate next cohort starts October 1st of October. What else do you want to know? I've talked about this virtual. I've talked about 6 months. You can pay in 2 or 3 installments. You can even pay at once. I'm a software tester, you know, beginner program. You know, I want to do, what's it called now? I want to do from STST to TS. I want to do it full-fledged. We have something we call the Test Acceleration Program coming up. You should launch it this coming week, where you can do a whole 1 year, right? The whole 1 year is 3 months STST, 6 months automation, and then 3 months full-fledged working experience with any company we send you to. So it's a whole 1 year test acceleration program that you can take. So the link to join, just go to academy.testifyltd.com. Let me drop the link. This is for those that want to do automation. This is the general link. Okay. If you want to do automation, this is the link for automation directly. You can sign up straight from that page. If it's STST that you want to do, meaning that you're a beginner, you just want to learn STST. So you're a beginner, you want to go into software testing. You can, then this is one I have for you. It's also for module. I don't need you to know anything about testing or tech before you even start. Shall know how to operate the computer, and we will take it from there. Know how to operate the computer, have a computer, internet, and light. I'm always saying that even if you don't have a computer, you can subscribe to a cafe. Pay for 3 months at a cafe. It's 5,000 naira per month. Pay for 3 months. You'll be going there, have internet and access to a laptop and be doing your work. People don't know how to improvise. You think you need to have a Mac before you start? No. Anyways, the first thing we are going to do for those are just big. So I'm done with STST automation. No. That's all the information I have for you. 350, you can sign up for it. For those that just STST, we help you to design a career map. Some of you are a pepper seller, some of you are a cleaner, some of you are a security man, some of you are a customer support. Regardless of whatever role you are doing, we'll help you to build a career map from what you are doing to a software test engineer, so that you can follow that map 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. You have a guide on how to build your career. Okay. The second one is that you are going to learn software testing skills intensively. This is where you learn everything about manual testing. In module 3, we give you an introduction to the automation world, where we teach you, Java with, Selenium, just an intro, nothing much. And then the fourth one is where we teach you how to land a job. So this one goes for 3 months. It's virtual as well. It's 100% virtual, but this one price is 180K. Okay, and you can pay in installment as well. You can pay in 2 installments. pay 100K before you start, pay your 80K later. Okay, you can pay your 180K before you start. You can pay your 180K, in full. You can pay 180K. Again, if enough people sign up, we'll do September intake, but new cohort starts October. So these are the two courses I want to talk about. I don't know if anybody has any question. Please tell the carpenter I'm coming to repair mine. Let me see. Are there questions? We need to round it up. When is the next class starting? We pay monthly. So I've already answered that. I have to thank you for sharing knowledge. I'm going to repair my table. You are broken down. Sorry. So that will be all. Announcement before we call it a day. International Software Testing Day is happening on September 9, and we are doing a program. Ladies and gentlemen, you should be clapping. You should be clapping. I'm just announcing it today. Adobe, check the chat. Somebody said you should share the link. This is the flyer. I'm just going to share that. Yeah. It's 2023. Oh. It's Tech Festival 2023. But anyway, the link is correct. Tech Festival 2023. So we have a link. Now, what are we going to be doing that day? If you know about Tech Festival, we know you do Tech Festival every year. But this time around, we're going to be doing Tech Festival strictly for software testers, strictly for, testing is what we are focusing on in this Tech Festival today, right? So we are going to be spending, you don't know anything about Tech Festival 2023. Oh, you get it right. But we are not in testing festival. It's a Tech Festival. So maybe you should call it Festival 2023 safe. So either you call it Festival 2023 or Tech. No, because it's Tech Festival. We always do Tech Festival every year. So we can maintain our name as Tech Festival 2023. So, like I was saying, what are we going to be doing at this session? We are going to be doing a 1 hour from 9 a.m. It's going to change this time. From 9 to 10 a.m. Anybody that does not know anything in tech or tech enthusiasts or anybody that doesn't want to know something about tech, I am going to be taking, me personally, I'm going to be taking them 1 hour session on software testing for free. Next one, we are going to have API test automation class, web automation class, mobile automation class. We are going to be having software testers with years of experience, and we're going to be having them to come and sit down and give us a panel session. Tell us about how have they been able to build a skill in over 10 years in software testing, 20 years in software testing. We want to hear from them. So we are going to be having that panel session. And it is on this day that I will now tell you about the bigger. Anyway, we have a physical meetup this year. 11th. So 9th of 9th is going to be our Tech Festival that I'm showing you on the screen. 10th of 10, well, I'm going to be doing a giveaway because it's going to be my birthday. So I'm not going to do any event that day. I'm just going to give you a giveaway. But 11th of this year, which is 11th of November, we are going to be meeting physically, ladies and gentlemen, live and direct in Lagos, Nigeria. Testers meet and greet. We are partnering with so much people. There's not going to be any money until next year. Everything I'm doing for you this year is free until next year, before we have our own festival next year. So March 19, 2024, we actually have a festival coming up. We will be bringing people like Angie Jones and the likes. I don't want to talk. Let me not see anything on this call. So come for September 9 event. Is online, no physical yet. 11th is when we are 11th of 11 is when we are meeting physically. So online is going to be a whole day from 9 to almost 4 p.m. And in fact, I'll be giving you data to participate in this session. Yes, I'm promising to give you a full day plan data to participate in this session, especially if you're in Nigeria. Full data on me. First 100 people to show up in the session is online like this. So it's not going to be me alone that's talking to you by then. It's a whole lot of people, more than 4 to 5 speakers. Even performance testing too is there. And of course, we're also going to be celebrating that day. Testers, I told you guys, I shared it on the community channel. Please go and nominate testers that you know, right? You know, testers that have had 5 years of experience in software testing. Please nominate them. It's good. We appreciate them, right? 5 years. We have partnered with, yes, I'm running up now. We have 10 more minutes. We have partnered with the Connected Award. If you are aware about the award I got in 2022 January, where I got 2 awards, we are going to be, they don't even know what is in stock for them. I'm going to be publishing them on newsletters, on Tech Cabal, on The Punch, because we need to celebrate these people so that people can, this is how we get to sing the song of software tester. This is how we have to get them known to the world. If we keep doing events like this behind the scene, and we are not showing ourselves out there, people will not know. You can see the product dive event that was on the other day. You can see the way they went on all the news. They are showing what, see, they are making the value of product management more valuable. We need to do the same thing. So if you know anyone, you are a software tester with 5 years experience, you know someone with more than 5 years experience, verifiable, we can see it on their LinkedIn page, nominate the person. That is all you need to do. Just nominate them. Click on the form. In 1 minute, you have finished nominating the person. In 1 minute, you are done nominating the person. Just tell us about the person and tell us how you got to know about the person. That's all, you are done. So please go and start nominating. And I also dropped the link for you to sign up for this program. So first 100 people to join this program on the 9th of September, I'm going to subscribe you for a full day to participate so that you don't use your money to spend it. So you see now, I'm giving you money to even join this session. Like I'm paying you to participate. I'm giving you data. You have no excuse to be absent. It's going to be a full day off. Because when we come to International Software Testing Days, 2 things has to happen. Knowledge consumption. In fact, that day, I'm going to say that day you should not be working, but thankfully it's a Saturday. That day you should not be working. You should just be acquiring knowledge as a tester, and you should be having fun. And of course, they're also partnering to make sure that we give laptops to those who want to learn software testing as a career. So there's a whole load there for that day. Like it's going to be an online summit, like a physical summit, and you don't want to miss it. So that'll be all from me. This point of mine, I think I can now officially bow out. Please go and share on social media what you have learned today. This is also how we celebrate the news. This is how you make yourself out there. You are also raising the flag. So that'll be off. Kingsley and Opago, your hands are up. I don't know if you still want to say something, but over to you, Adobe. Thank you. And you can tag me so that I can reshare you, so that I can repost you too. Yeah. So tag Ibroke Ekini and tag Testers Quarter, and we can reshare what you said. Yeah. And more people can also follow you too on your platforms, you know.
Sorry, I have a question. Yeah, my question. My question is about the 1 year academy program you talked about. How does that run? How does it run?
Oh, sorry. I already explained it.
Are you here?
Yeah, so like I already explained, you do a manual testing program, our STST program, everything in the STST program, you do it. Then we also give you the 6-month automation skill, that's 9 months altogether. Then we now give you 3 months, we post it to a company to have 3 months experience, internship with the company. That makes it 1 year. And it all runs online. Kingsley, I don't know if I answer your question.
Yeah. Do we pay everything at once? How does the packaging go? I mean, the packaging, is it paid?
Okay, the payment. Oh, you can pay in installment as well. Okay. Of course, as usual, you always pay 100K to start, then you start paying installment. So it doesn't mean that you have to pay the whole $1,000 or the whole, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to pay the whole amount at once. That's what I mean. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I'm okay. Thanks.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, I just joined. Good morning.
Good morning. We have 2 more minutes. The link is expiring now. Okay, but
Yeah, is the minimum amount 100,000 payments?
yes, that's the minimum amount to join the program.
Wow. And total fee is $1,000.
Yes. That's for the test acceleration program.
Okay.
That will last for 1 year. Yes. The minimum
Oh.
is 100. So there are 3 things I've mentioned now. One, we have the STSC that lasts for 3 months. That one is 180K. Pay 100K before you start, and then pay 80K balance the following month, right? When you're in the program. For the automation school that is 6 months, that one you pay 100K before you start as well, and then you can pay 125 because the price is 350K, 6 months, and you can pay in 3 installments. But you always have to pay 100K to start. Now, the third one, which is the test acceleration program, spans for 1 year. That one is 1,000 USD. 1,000 USD. Pay 100K to start. I don't know what the equivalent in Naira is, but I'll let you know. But you pay 100K to start, and then the remaining one you keep paying every month as installment until you finish paying. Does that answer your question, Ogechukwu? So that's why I said the minimum pay is 100K. Ogechukwu, does that answer your question?
Yes, I'm cleared.
Yeah. But we also
So you have for 1 month, you have for 1 month, you have for 6 months, and you have the accelerator for 12
now we
months.
have for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year.
Okay, 3 months. I think I like my pockets can go full. It's in 3 months and 6
We have the
months.
3 months, we have the 6 months, we have the 1 year. Yeah, sorry. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful weekend. Thank
Bye.
you for an informative session.
Bye.